the other finger when we're ready. Tell me when we're rolling.
Okay.
Aha! Well, boys and girls, if you're still here with us, welcome to the April 2025 meeting of the Chicago TI user group. In case you can't recognize me, I'll put my head back on. There. Now, is that better?
It's
Anyway.
like Superman. Who are you?
Yeah.
What the heck? Oh, it's Hal.
Well, we're in beautiful downtown Evanston, Illinois, at the Evanston Public Library, and we have a full crew today. I'm going to go around the room and introduce everyone. Starting off with our president, Dick Schmidt. Next to Dick is our newsletter editor, John Benke. Next, John is David, is his brother David.
Oh, keep going.
Who is in charge of applause today. And our cameraman in the back of the room, Kyle Phillips.
Otherwise known as our disembodied head.
To his left is our technical guru.
Both of them.
Yeah, I know. We both serve that role at times.
Jim Missouri.
Jim Missouri.
Also in charge of today's broadcast. And next to him is our seldom seen.
This is the homeless guy.
John Shanfield.
Hey, welcome.
Who's our fair cinematographer. And then I'm here as well, Hal Shanfield.
What's your position?
I'm fair chairman and general dog's body. At any rate,
Hazard
we
materials
have to start
disposal.
out today's meeting with a little bit of sad news. We just lost one of our members, longtime member Steve Weber, who didn't attend very many of our meetings, but did come to the fair most years when he could. Just died yesterday, and so he will not be at this year's picnic, unfortunately.
10 seconds.
More about that
Silence.
later.
10 seconds we'll give them?
I think we can just go on
Okay.
The fair this year, I'll mention right off the bat, the fair is going to be on October the 25th.
202 days away.
202 days away, thank you, John.
Check.
And so if you're getting your hotel reservations, or if you're making your flight reservations, don't forget that it starts actually on the Friday before the fair. When we have a get-together dinner, we have the fair itself, then we have a banquet and present whatever awards we have to present. Then we have the infamous pub crawl, and when the weather permitting, we will march around until we pass out at some location after visiting a few of the adult watering holes in this.
When's the naked bike ride?
The naked bike ride, that's
We're gonna do it
usually-
this year?
That's usually after the pub crawl, because most people don't want to do that when they're home so sober. So then the survivor's breakfast the following Sunday, if there are any, of course. So that's about it for me, and I believe we have a full show today. Vic, do you have something that you want to tell us about what's going on, or John, or?
We got the icebreaker, unless Vic has something ahead of that.
The icebreaker?
The icebreaker. We have truth or bullshit. Can I say bullshit on camera? BS.
Well, you did, so.
Okay.
It's
I'm
a
gonna
moot
pass
point.
these out. The way this works is I have a little sheet, and this is in honor of April Fool's Day, which just passed a couple days ago, okay? So each player is gonna be given 2 cards saying truth, and the other's gonna say BS. Okay, 8 statements will be read, and after each statement's read, a player will decide if they think the statement is true or if it's bullshit, by placing the appropriate card face down in front of them. All the cards will be turned over at the same time, and a point is given for the correct answer. At the end of the 8 statements, the highest score wins. So let me pass these out. Here you go. You got real or BS.
I'd rather play truth or dare.
Who's the dare? No, the dare scares me.
Okay.
Here, see if you got 2. I'm sure there's 2. Real BS.
Pass those around.
Real BS. They got one for Vic, but he took off. Or Jim, I mean. You know,
Let's see, I think,
Oh, he's back.
he's back.
What, you need one?
No, I'm the announcer.
Oh,
we should probably mention that today's refreshments
Okay,
are
what are the
provided
rules
by
here?
Kyle
You guys wanna
and
do
by
it?
David. We have
So I
cupcakes.
can
If
just
you're not
take
at one of
this
these
and
meetings,
call
you're
it a
missing
day.
all
Okay,
the.
what I want everybody to do is I'm gonna read a full statement, okay? Listen to it completely, decide if you think it's true or if it's BS. Put it face down in front of you, so that nobody's looking at each other and cheating. And then we'll hold them all up at the same time and I'll keep score, okay? Are we ready? Okay, the first, number 1, a sprite is a 2D graphic or image that can be moved independently on a display, often on top of a static background. The term sprite was first coined by the team that designed the Texas Instruments TMS 9918. Before that, they were called player graphics, which were less capable sprites. Is that true or BS? Okay, everybody pull it up. That would be true. Okay, everybody, what do you got? I can't see. Real, everybody said real. Okay, that means everybody.
It's a phone.
There was a mouthful of diarrhea, it had to be true.
Okay, that was a mouthful. Okay, Kyle, Jim, John. I should have wrote this down
Yes,
before.
and some other manufacturers often call
Hell.
them movable object blocks as
Dave.
well, mobs.
Vic. Okay, number 2, Texas Instruments' first handheld calculator, the TI-101, was first produced in 1964 and was fairly large by today's standards. It came in its own case, which was the size of a small suitcase, and ran off of 12 D-cell batteries. Only a few hundred were sold, and it was considered a commercial failure. Was that true or BS? Okay, hold them up, everybody. BS, real, BS. That was BS. So who said it was true?
I did.
Okay, so it was actually BS. So
Question was-
BS gets the point. You said BS?
Yes.
Question,
Okay.
did you say calculator or computer?
Calculator.
Calculator,
Did
okay.
you say true or BS?
Didn't get a point.
You said BS?
He
or-
said
You
it's
said true.
real.
Real? Okay, what'd you say?
Say BS.
Okay, Jim gets, Hal gets 1, what'd you say?
Oh, I said, BS.
Okay, and what were you?
Are you sure you said
Yeah. Yes.
That's the one I held up.
Yeah, I'm kinda on your system here, because I didn't, actually, I made all that up. They did produce a calculator during that year. I made up the TI-101 and the 12 D-cell batteries and the suitcase. But
Yeah, the battery one is what
The batteries would.
got me.
12 D-cell? Well, I mean, it's plausible. Okay, number 3, the prototype of the TI-99-4 had a backlit keyboard, which was scrapped because the small bulbs used would heat up and melt the plastic keys. Was that true or BS? Okay. Okay, health, okay, that was bullshit. So let me do it one at a time. Okay, everybody said bullshit? Okay, everybody gets a point. I didn't fool anybody on that one. Damn. Okay, well, I gotta make them harder now. Number 4, designed by a British engineer, the Colossus computer was designed to break Nazi code during World War II. The Colossus used 2,500 vacuum tubes and used pulleys to transport continuous rolls of punch paper tape. The Colossus reduced the time to break Nazi code from weeks to hours. Most historians believe that the Colossus significantly shortened the war, and the machine's existence was not made public until the 1970s. Was that true or bullshit? Everybody, real, bullshit, real, bullshit. Okay, it was real. So everybody but John and, who had the bullshits? You?
No.
You, and John and,
John,
so everybody but John.
I was gonna say BS because of the paper thing.
Vic.
But
I
paper
didn't know
tape
they
was a
had-
form of storage.
I didn't didn't know they had push, or what did he say? Push.
Police,
Pull-
police
Punch
basically,
cards, yeah, punch cards have been around since.
no, no, no,
Yeah,
it was
big
paper
police
tape,
put
and
it
it
in
Days
was
of,
police to draw them through the readers.
Okay, you got four more questions. Number 5, the popular video game Space Invaders features roles of alien invaders who march across the screen and drop towards you. Each time you kill an invader, the remaining invaders speed up and they march faster. This was a result of the game's board's low processing power, and it was designed to draw one invader every 60th of a second, instead of all the invaders at once. As the number decreases, the time to draw them becomes shorter, and so the speed of movement increases. In other words, the reason that they got faster was because
That's the pink viewers.
the chip was too slow and couldn't draw them all. Is that true or bullshit? That would be true. So Kyle gets a point, hold him up. Jim gets a point. John gets a point. You'll get shit. Dave gets a point. And Vic gets a point.
I do. That's payback for.
Oh, you thought, oh, you didn't get a point. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you gotta check me. Okay, number 6, Fred Rogers from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood served as a sniper during the Vietnam War and had a large number of confirmed kills. Fred Rogers wore his iconic sweaters to conceal the extensive tattoos on his arms that were acquired while he was serving in the military. Is that true or BS? BS, BS, real, BS, real, BS. That was BS.
Oh.
So everybody but John and Dave.
I've heard that and I Googled it, that's how I knew.
He was a Korean girl, wasn't he?
As a sniper.
I think the tattoos part is.
Oh.
On the internet, there's a hook site that.
He was actually in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the military, but
There's a hook site.
I don't think he was in there now.
No.
That's why I never.
Okay. 2 more questions, guys, then we go on to the next quickie. Space Cadets was a British television program and was aired across 10 consecutive nights beginning 7 December 2005, with the final episode airing on 16 December 2005. The series was a hoax at the expense of the contestants, who were told they were being trained as cosmonauts at a Russian military base before undergoing a 5-day trip into low Earth orbit. In reality, the entire series was filmed in Suffolk, and the contestants never did leave Earth, even though they thought they did. Was this true or bullshit? BS. Real? Jim? BS, BS, real, real, real. It was true. So who said it was true? Kyle? Jim got caught. Did you say it was true? You got. Okay. Hold them up if you got it. Dave got it. No, you didn't get it. Okay, last question. We'll see who wins. Okay, here we go. In 1991, Texas Instruments discovered 2,000 unopened TI-9948 home computers in a company storage facility. These units were marked as warranty replacements. Employees were each allowed to take 2 consoles, and the remaining stock was disposed of. Is this true or BS? Kyle? It was BS. So if you said BS, hold your
Yeah,
hand up.
TI would never give anything away for its employees.
Okay, who had BS? Jim had BS? Okay, you had BS. Vic? Dave had BS. Hal had BS.
I have IBS.
Okay. Okay, the winner with 7 points is Kyle, got 7 of the 8. And
Easy applause.
Oh.
Hal got 7 out of the 8 I got.
Ooh, sorry.
So tie, so let's see what we're gonna do here.
Really, 7.
He gets a free cupcake.
6.5.
Okay, we have awards here. Kyle, think of a number between 1 and 5.
3.
3.
4.
It was 2. Kyle gets it. Kyle, you get number 1, the Grand Champion Award, which is he gets the Pooh Award for the greatest bullshitter.
Wow.
Hey.
And Hal gets the number 2 position, which is all I have, is 2 little ones. You have the Little Poop.
Little poop.
You have the Little Poop Award,
The Dookie Awards.
the Little Poop Award.
Yes, but shouldn't number 2 be the number 1?
Poop over there. All right.
Isn't number 2 the number? Isn't?
It's a crappy award.
Now we, Okay, now we have a
Cool.
real quick one, 5 minutes one here. This is a little Doctor Who thing in honor of my brother and everybody else who is a Doctor Who fan. Who's a Doctor Who fan in this room? Anybody?
We will admit that on camera.
Who will admit that, well, it's classy these days. So, you don't have to participate, but the way this goes is I am going to,
Another guest.
Erwin.
Let's
Here we
introduce
go.
our,
This is the least late I've ever been.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're Erwin.
Thank you.
so in this game, I am going to name a Doctor Who companion. And you're gonna, we're gonna ask, what doctor they were a companion of.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Doctor what? Doctor No?
And let's
That's
see,
a different
who's,
franchise.
who's participating here? Who's gonna participate?
I'll
Kyle?
try. I'm
Do you
not
want me
gonna
to sit out, because I'll probably get them all?
No, you don't sit out then. You might be the champion
I'll
now.
get them all.
I don't
Jim?
need to be the champion.
You Doctor Who? No? No? Doctor Who? No? Doctor Who?
I'm
No?
just gonna say Doctor Who.
Not Doctor No, that's a different
Dave?
franchise.
Doctor No?
Yeah,
Doctor Who? We have 4 contestants in this one, okay? John and Jim. Okay. We're gonna do just a couple of these, okay?
How do we buzz in?
Is this yours?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get cups, so that's fine.
That's true, okay.
I can't.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna go one person at a time, okay? Okay, we're gonna start with Kyle, right? Kyle, Jamie McCrimmon was a Highlander. That's all I'm gonna tell you. What doctor?
Well, you have to tell them in 1 through 7, right?
Yeah, it's classic Doctor Who. It's
Okay,
all
we'll go by
classic
number.
Doctor Who.
Okay, that's
So
better.
Jamie McCrimmon, he was a Highlander. He was in the first story was called The Highlanders, and that's all I'm gonna tell you because it gives too much away.
4.
No, that would be the second Doctor. Okay, who's next? John. Okay, let's see. John Benton, his first story was The Invasion. What doctor or doctors was he involved with? Oh, it's Jim. Sorry, Jim.
So that would be the third Doctor.
Okay. There's more than one.
Pardon me?
There's more than one. You gotta get at least 2 correct.
He was also the fourth, involved with the fourth Doctor.
That's
as
good
well.
enough. He was actually second,
Third
third,
and
fourth.
fourth, yes, I
Okay, so
know.
1 point to Jim. Okay, this one's John.
Technically, it's the
Were
third.
were you participating?
I can.
No, I mean, do you know enough about Doctor
Well,
Who?
that's not anything about it.
Okay, then
What's
you're not
that?
Don't forget
participating.
second Doctor.
Yeah, I know, we said.
So it's just, so we just got Kyle, Dave, Jim, and Vic. Okay, so
Alright.
David,
Yes,
Barbara Wright.
first Doctor.
So what are we about?
I know every single one.
I didn't get to finish my Zoom in on you.
Okay, Victor, this is for you. Leela,
Tom Baker.
fourth Doctor, yes. Okay. Let's see, Kyle. K9,
Is it 2?
the fourth Doctor, Tom Baker.
And you could even put him in with new franchise Doctors as well.
that's
true.
true.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim, Harry Sullivan,
Fourth Doctor, fourth Doctor Tom Baker.
yes. Who's next?
Need more coffee.
David. Harry Brown.
5th and 6th.
She even know both of them, yes. Maybe that I needed something harder. Kyle.
I think he's a ringer.
Well, Jim's pretty good too. Okay, let's see here. Sarah Jane Smith.
Who is that, Rex or? Oh,
Kyle. There's 2 doctors, all you do is guess one.
5.
No, that would be 3 and 4. Have you ever seen the show?
I'm gonna be honest, I've seen more than you.
Okay. I'm just giving you
Another
that.
character that appeared in the reboot series as
She
well.
walked in halfway through Pertwee's tenure and.
Okay, Jim. Dodo Chaplet.
What?
Chaplet,
That would be first Doctor,
yes.
William Hartnell.
Oh, Jesus.
Who is awful.
Yeah, she brought her cold virus to
Are these
the
the real names of
monads.
people, or are these
That's their
character?
Character names.
Yeah, she brought her cold, killed
Tegan Jovanka,
Jovankic.
Jovanka,
Jovankic.
Who's this for?
you,
Oh, me? Oh, I'm sorry. Fourth and fifth.
yes. It looks like
Definitely
we're
a
gonna have
ring.
to. We got a two-way tie, but. Okay, and let's see, last question, last one. This is for Vic. Find one here, good one here. Romana,
Fourth doctor.
yes. Okay, and we got tied for first, place we have Dave. Here you go. We have Jim,
Oh, wait, I thought you were gonna do like a rapid round.
no,
Just name
and we're
off.
gonna do,
Oh, I thank you.
you get last place, but you still get a prize. Hope everybody enjoyed themselves, until next month. Open it up, show what we got there.
Oh, nice.
I like that
Really
one.
cool.
That's a nice photo.
Show it over here.
Hang on a second. And then also a little lanyard with something on it. I don't know.
I think that's for hanging it.
That's a little promotional photo. Is it? Okay.
I was in a thrift store in the box of sonic screwdrivers that somebody had stolen in the contents.
Okay, what we're up to now, I hope everybody enjoyed the icebreaker, we'll have another one next month as usual. And we're up now is, Vic is going to, well, take it away, Vic.
Okay. A few months ago, John came up with the idea for showcasing Vic's picks, my favorite games, and these are the ones I grew up with the TI. So we're going to go to the final ground here. We'll press letter O for games end to Z. And we're going to go to letter J for Pac-Man. Up. And no, I say I grew up with this. A friend of mine turned 21 when this was released in the arcades. And we went in quarters. We gave
Yes,
them
how
an
much,
unlimited
how much,
amount of
how
quarters.
much money and time did you spend?
All of it. So, okay, it's the other
That is
joystick.
a rather nice port.
Yeah.
A little slow, but it's a nice
Still,
port.
It's nice
Well, the
looking.
speed changes. It's slow on the first screen, then it speeds up on.
It's excellent, though, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I mean, although we all know, we
I'm up,
all
boys.
prefer Car Wars better, right?
It's like, what, you can actually slow down in this game?
They can't put it at full speed and have you be really good when you go to the arcade.
Did they do a Miss Pac-Man port?
Yes.
Yeah, that's on here too. Oops.
Question for you, what's the difference between the two? There's two differences.
One's a
Their
girl.
pronouns.
One has a bowl.
One has a
One has a
color,
ball, and
and the ghost colors are different, as I recall, and names.
the mazes change.
Yeah.
The mazes don't change in Pac-Man, I don't think.
And so we just gave Dave a unlimited amount of tokens. And he's a big guy. He played amateur football. And you didn't have to watch the screen to know how he was doing at it. Because once he yelled, "No!" and he's like tipping the machine over on its side, grabbing the joystick. Those arcades had some tough joysticks.
Did those tilt?
Yeah. The books have come out on like how to win at Pac-Man, and they go through
There's patterns.
certain patterns you can go through. And
Right, because everything's sort of procedurally generated, so.
Mhm. Well, one of the clues is if the ghost monster's eyes are looking in your direction,
you will
then
not.
they will see you if you cross by them, or if you're in the same
I would,
hallway as they are.
I don't think that they had that kind of sophistication back then. Maybe I'm wrong,
And
you know.
And on different difficulty levels,
I do know that they look in the direction that they go.
yeah,
They look in the direction they go. In certain cases on the original game, you could pass through them safely if they were looking away from you. But I think that is a side effect of sprite collision detection
Probably.
failure,
Yeah.
rather than a feature.
but Atari Soft with this, with Centipede, Protector, other games, it's like the arcade. Nobody does a better arcade game than Atari Soft did for their ports for the TI.
You know, what's interesting about this, and I know the arcade doesn't do it. They're not able to play the sound effects of the background music and the eating of the dots at the same time, which is why it cuts in and out. Every time it eats a dot and makes that sound, the background music stops.
Yeah, there's a few games like that that you demoed Vic in the past where it does that.
But the real arcade game, I think they all stand at the same time.
Yeah.
So when you eat one of those gold orbs, do you have unlimited time to eat a ghost? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's time.
Yeah, we need a power dot. You've only got so much time before the ghosts revert back to their normal color. You can
But
only
it
eat
looked
them
like he
when
could
they're
eat,
blue.
it looked like he ate one after they reverted.
Yeah,
Oh.
and that's a problem, trying to race them. The ghosts are slightly faster than the Pac-Man is.
So Vic, why is this one of your top picks?
Like I said, it was one of those that I grew up with. When I got this cartridge, I was like, oh, this is great. You know, it's just like,
So it's it's significant to you personally because
and it's usually futile chasing them. You can go through that vacation tunnel from left to right faster than they can.
they said this was the first game that women or girls actually liked.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was
because it
intentional,
was-
right?
And then they said, well, there's all kinds of different theories about that. Some of them we can't talk about here. There's a lot of it's just because it's simple to learn and
All right.
it's not necessarily violent. Yeah, they can get you, but you're not blowing stuff up with guns.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not murdering people on screen.
Yeah, that's probably why I never liked it.
Wasn't the guy who made Miss Pac-Man like a modder who they ended up hiring?
I don't know about
Thank you.
that.
Okay, so that's my first favorite game.
So, for all time, what was the most favorite game for guys and what was the one for women?
Couldn't tell you that.
I wonder.
Way back when, it's hard to say
And it
because
depends what game
if
genre.
you're talking early '80s.
If you're talking cabinet arcade style games versus home
You're basically
computer,
talking-
video
Well,
game, console
I mean, just
games.
referring to this platform.
I like them
TI?
Flying, biplane that shot.
I don't know, what do you think the most popular TI game was?
Well, without question, I know for sure it was
Oh, I
Parsec.
love it. I
It
love
was,
this
it
game.
was Parsec.
Great game. This was one of my favorites. I haven't been able to play it because my 32K is crapped out.
Parsec was the best action game, and I think it wasn't even close. The overall best game was, I think, was Tunnels of Doom. You know, Tunnels of Doom was extremely popular, and I think probably because it was the only one of its kind at the time. I mean, later on, they came up with some excellent derivatives of it, you know, programmed in BASIC or extended BASIC and assembler. Some of them today, what's that one that today that's really good? What's that one you demoed last, Tunnels in Antiquity or something like that, or what was that one called?
We had the
Realms of Antiquity. I never played this, and I think, isn't this a game that was supposed to be for the, that hardware adapter or something?
I think this is an
Parker?
MBX game.
That's what I'm saying, that's probably why I never saw some. Were you able to play this
Scared.
without the MBX?
Well,
Or,
he's gone.
Yeah, the only MBX game you cannot play
There you go.
without the MBX adapter is their championship baseball. You have to have the MBX console to play that.
Because I never bought them because I thought they were exclusive, you had to have the hardware.
No, that's the only one, and that cartridge has a red label on it, where all the other MBX games have a blue label. And usually with the MBX system, you have the headset you can wear so you can do voice recognition. So you can go up, down, left, right, tell it what you want it to do.
Like that would be an easier way to control it by just talking.
And if you ever are able to locate one of the joysticks, do not, under any circumstances, ever let any child ever play with it. I have one over here, but ruined about 6 of my joysticks. And he and his brother and sister managed to go through at least a dozen joysticks.
Well, they weren't very well built to begin with, to be fair.
Recognition
Same
wasn't
spot.
very good. You'd say normally in the game, you're excited, so it'd be a different pattern.
pitch?
So it didn't register.
So what's the significance of this one, did you say and I didn't hear it?
It's a very exciting game. I
You
really like it.
really enjoyed it,
Yeah.
okay.
I agree.
This wasn't one where it reminded you of your younger days when you used to mountain climb?
No. In this one, it's interesting, you're on the face of a mountain, and if you watch,
Kyle?
your technique here is you have to,
This one? That's,
Bigfoot will throw boulders at you, and they will always roll towards you. They'll never roll away from you.
Did they follow you?
So he says,
Fly up the rope.
he sounds like Wally Cox when he goes, "I'm getting you, Bigfoot." And so the key is to always throw a rope in the middle of any ledge that you can.
Now, is there any significance to those birds that fly, or is that just
Yes,
background?
if you, it's a little difficult for me, but if you notice, there's a bird's nest on the right side of the mountain,
Yeah,
and a hawk takes off from that nest and flies off the left side of the screen. I'm gonna hang from this rope, climb up because it'll hit your ankles.
you played this before, I can tell.
It's one of his picks.
how far can you throw the rope?
Uh,
Two of them,
I think you could, I don't know if they let you throw 3,
everyone let you take that one?
no.
So what, you gonna
I
take
like
the-
that bouncing sound the boulder makes as it hits each ice ledge.
Can you get different mountains when you complete this?
Yes. Now what I'm trying to do is finish this to show you what happens on the next screen. Now on the next screen, that hawk takes off and he flies behind the mountain. What he doesn't do on this first screen is he shows up on this side of the mountain flying from left to right.
Uh-oh,
Got it? I don't know how I missed that
you
twice.
gotta go a little bit more to the right, I think. Oh, that's cool.
So why doesn't he just kind of destroy you?
Because it's locked in, you capture them in the cage. So now this next screen, if you're hanging from a rope and you see that hawking at your level, and he will grab that rope you're hanging on and carry you off to the other edge, and he goes, hawk, hawk. He goes, ah, you know, is the,
There's a lot to this game.
yeah. Notice a slight different rearrangement of the ledges. Now the hawk has gone off to the left. Oh, you gotta pick up a square,
Oh, it looks like you gotta alternate, right?
you gotta pick up a square, which is a survival stuff.
I see why you're, okay, so when the little piles of turd blink, you can go over them.
Yeah, that's your goal
Oh,
that
okay,
you're
the
trying to
goal.
get.
Sorry.
What's the green thing again?
It's about-
That's your,
Oh,
that's your pack, that's your food,
It's the toilet paper for the birds.
you can't fall down 3 levels.
Where's the shovel?
You don't get that from the full screen.
I'll see if I can illustrate for you what happens if you're hanging on a rope. Oh, the eagle's gone back to his nest. Oh, now he's taking off again. So I'll deliberately hang out here to show you, gee, usually he does this real quick. As soon as you throw a rope and start climbing it, that eagle will come around.
Or you can't trust anybody to use it.
Oh, the eagle goes back to his nest. That little.
So what does the eagle do for you?
Supposed to pick them up and fly away with you.
takes your rope off.
Mhm.
According to Vic.
Do you have to throw
Wink,
a rope
wink.
at the, you have to throw a rope at it, or it grabs it?
No, if you're hanging on the rope.
No, you
get
can't do
there.
nothing to the bird, the ASPHCA comes after you.
You have to get all the gold,
There,
or he'll
the
come
bird
out.
goes off on the left. I've had that guy catch me so many times because I forget about him.
You gotta throw the rope after he takes off, maybe.
Yeah.
Damn eagle is like a prostitute or a cop. You can never find one when you really want one.
A lot of ropes.
That's too close. Now, if I fall off here, you can't fall down 3 levels. Your guy will.
You know, we might have to just take your word for it.
Well, darn it, I
There
can't
he
can't get the hawk to get me.
It doesn't, I mean, does it have different difficulty levels? Because it seems like once you get the, the way the way the boulder spins, it's not
Mhm.
that difficult.
Yeah, the boulder will always roll over wherever you're at.
Looks like more.
Wait, has the levels changed, or is it the same exact?
No, that's a
That's
different.
a different-
The platforms have changed.
Platforms
Oh,
change.
they have?
And
It's open in the center.
I didn't even notice.
There he
Here we
goes.
go.
Oh, damn.
There we go.
Yeah.
Remember, Robin?
There we go.
Yeah. But then he
Okay,
lets,
what else you got there?
then he lets go of the rope.
Oh, I thought
after
you were trying to get carried away by the.
Yeah.
No, he was, he was.
That was
No,
just-
no, that, you're not
That's
supposed
for
to.
real when you're.
He was
playing.
just showing you, yeah.
What
Yeah,
happens,
it's
yeah.
illustrated. Okay, we're gonna select O for games and, no, I didn't want that.
If you're on the level, Vic, if you're on the level already, and the eagle comes out, will he still grab you or,
No, only if you're hanging from a rope.
okay?
Bigfoot.
How many levels are there?
I don't know, I've only made it to the 2. Like I said, so I'm not necessarily a master.
6 mountain screens, 6 levels.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's a reward.
And what do you get when you get to the very end? I mean, is there, what is the payoff?
You get to eat the,
I don't know if there's a reward screen, but I've just had a lot of fun playing it.
Who was the guy in, Ohio that wrote that game, and the payoff was when you finally conquered whatever the game was, you got to get the Bible verses. You remember that? I have to see if I can find that one.
Which Bible verse?
Mr. Bodenmiller did a.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah, Bowden. Yeah, and you got the inspirational message at the end.
Yeah, I got that on my,
Oh, wow.
Nano, but it's not one of them on the list.
Next time.
Make
yeah.
Mason.
Way back when, on the PC, you had, Load Runner.
Oh, yeah.
And this is yet another version where you're the little guy here, and you have to pick up these tokens.
we've got some people in the chat, Stefan's there, Klaus.
Close?
Oh, wow, Klaus.
Yeah,
It looks like the last game in Pac-Man had
Working
eight
there.
levels.
Now you can
Ah,
use your
you got it.
pick,
I like it.
Yeah,
and you can,
pretty much it. So, Ricky, Klaus,
Anybody ask any questions?
Stefan. No, we're just kind of talking amongst themselves.
You know, if they ask, you know, they wanna know where Hal gets his, sweatshirts from.
This one's actually cleaner than usual.
Okay, so I picked up all the tools.
He
At Midnight
bartered the
Mason,
hobo for it.
careless workers have left tools laying around on a construction site. And your job is to pick them up. Now, you can't dig through the bricks here on the bottommost level. But by pressing the fire button and in the direction you're facing, you can stymie these little pesky ghosts
You want me
that
to
have
read this
haunted
here
this
for you?
site. Yeah,
Says it's the graveyard shift and you're behind schedule. Better get to work repairing the walls of the old refractory. But what's this? Some very hungry varmints intend on keeping you from finishing your shift? Climb, run, and break through walls on this merry chase as you try to collect your tools for the ghosts collect you.
and you can fill in the holes with the fire button.
The mason is allowed to climb up ladders. He can fall off any brick. If a ghost is chasing the mason, then press the fire of the cube hole in the bricks in front of him.
He's faster than this tool. You don't have to make it to a ladder on the top of the screen. He just does a jig and goes, yeah, I did it, I got all the tools.
So why do you like this game, Vic?
It's a lot like Load Runner. It's a lot like a different variation of this game called TI Runner, which came with a whole bunch of screens, like 23 different screens, and an editor. But this one, it's a lot simpler, and as far as the gameplay, just trying to pick up all these tools and outsmart these ghosts.
Okay, we're running a little behind. What's the next one?
Okay.
We got plenty of time though, so.
Yeah, we can go extra if we need to.
Of course, I just.
Okay.
If the battery doesn't quit on my phone first.
I have an external battery.
Got
The USB-C.
letter I
connector on
for
the phone
Tris.
is kind of wonky.
There's various versions of
Okay, this is
not
Tris,
Tris.
right?
Tetris, Tetris.
Is this actually Tris too? Because I kept running into, I couldn't find Tris, and then when I downloaded this, and it came up Tris 2, even though it only says Tris.
I asked a programmer about that, why so many games are called Game Name 2. He
Right.
says, well, a lot of times they were developed for another machine, the Commodore or the arcade, and they didn't want people to get confused with that being like the original, so they would put the 2 after it.
This
So
Tris,
yeah, 1990, Jim Rice.
Tris is a remarkable game based on a very popular game from the Soviet Union. An arcade style game. In Tris, the object is to manipulate falling shapes, so they form solid rows in the game area. Tetris?
Yes.
Completed rows automatically disappear. As the game progresses, the pieces fall faster and faster, making it even more challenging. Though with this sounds simple in concept, Tris is a game that's easy to play and very difficult to master. Go ahead.
So by pressing up on the joystick, I can rotate the block clockwise. And I can also move it left and right with the joystick. And if I push down, if I press the fire button, it will drop immediately. Which is sometimes you want to do that to speed up the game.
Meeting before Kathy's meeting a few months ago.
Is the idea to get a certain number in a row?
Big question, can you sneak? Can you slip in?
Yeah, some versions of Tetris and Tris, if you hold the joystick over, when you get alongside an area where you can move over, it'll sidle it over. Other versions it won't.
Yeah, timing is a little, you gotta have perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
We've made some pretty nasty comments. Remember the Kim Jong-un one? And you're like, oh god, they're gonna take us off the air the next month. We've made some good ones.
Oh, we, over the years, have, some of the, we played, what was the game about Phuket? I was roundly criticized for that one.
It's not, it's okay.
That
I know with the
became-
music.
That became the
Yeah.
slogan for
When
all
this
the
came out,
kids.
there was a lot of excitement. There was an announcement. We were gonna get a video
I'm
game
not worried
from
about that.
Russia.
The problem is if you-
And we were all going, oh,
You
what's
ever
it
seen a
gonna
movie
be?
about
You're
this?
off.
Big
It's so good.
37 or
It's a good
something
movie.
like that.
It's so good, the
Yeah.
movie, yeah.
Remember the
We
name
got our
of it?
first one.
It's just called Tetris,
Yeah.
with,
okay, what?
Taron Egerton,
You never
yeah.
seen the movie
Strike, but
Tetris?
we got a warning.
Watch it, it's really good.
It's amazing.
It's about the guy that developed this and, you know, he didn't make any money on it.
You get demonetized when you get struck.
It's funny, but
Yeah, it's
accurate.
From the platform when you get released.
I think,
One of the
Nintendo
TV news
did one
shows
of
did a
these.
story about it.
Mhm.
a Mario
So
Brothers,
once we start going self-hosting
Doctor,
stream.
whatever,
Dr. Mario.
and it involved
If you ever get a chance to
pills.
watch the movie, it's
And so
fascinating.
some
It's
people
good.
were upset, oh, you're teaching kids
But
to,
the problem
you know,
is when
eat
you take
pills.
stuff that
know,
is
it's like, come
distinctly
on.
You'll always find
copyrighted,
somebody who'll be
you put it
offended
in
for
there,
everything.
You either have to channel it, even if it's free and thinks the algorithm.
Yeah,
thinks
here, I
it-
think I'll show.
Oh, I got, is that,
If you
go
for this, I
down-
got extras.
to
Well,
get
this
a
isn't
channel
really a
to
good
have it
example.
done.
But yeah, so if you go down in your block, you can hold
At
the
some
stick
point I'll
over,
remove that, or
and it'll slide over.
It will let you on this one.
Yeah. Not
everywhere.
everywhere.
Can I flip this on eBay?
I stayed up
If
way
someone
too
buy
late,
it.
too many
We'll
nights,
see what happens.
playing this game, but, it was really addictive, I really like this a lot.
You
And of
can
course,
really
once, you make enough mistakes, and the column stacks all the way up to the top, it's game over.
What does it say about the group that you put it in the
Well,
waterproof container?
I talked to Jim, he's aware.
You know, I
I don't know
originally
that,
put
I
them
don't know
in
that we'll get dinged.
vanilla envelopes, and then I had a label, or I had to label them so you could see what was inside. And when I saw
Well,
these, it was just so much
time
easier,
zone,
because I could just stick them in and I wouldn't have to label them.
Where did you get them? Because I've never seen them.
Amazon sells those, and actually, they're food quality, the food in these.
Because they-
But then the secondary was, is because they're
Basically looks for
hermetically
something
sealed, or
that's-
whatever you call it, and because it makes something with TI, you know, it'll-
Okay, so the last game on the
Waterproof,
list
can't
is
from
From
its
not
last
on
forever.
this
from a free
collection.
source, and then if it's not.
Yeah, what's the last
either
one?
Remove it or live with it.
Entrapment,
Entrapment. Entrapment, there I go. Now you can bring the speed and fun of video arcade games home for a reasonable price. Entrapment is written in assembly language for a fast-moving excitement, blasting advancing bugs before they land. Set traps and put obstacles in their way. Complete the wall and actually beat the arcade game. You better hurry though, each wave of bugs moves faster than the previous one. 6 levels of difficulty make this game fun for the beginner and expert alike. Recommended for ages 10 and up. You qualify, Vic?
yeah.
He's part of the and up crowd.
Yeah, this is probably.
Either the extended basic mini memory or Ed Extender module are required. Memory expansion and disk system also required. Joysticks are optional.
I never saw this one before.
Okay, so in this, every time you shoot a bug, it turns into a block.
What happens when they hit the block? They move around it, I see.
Now, notice how he dodged that shot. They'll do that. So these eggs at the top of the screen hatch one at a time. They usually hatch on opposite sides of the screen, so you waste a lot of time going left, right, to kill them. The idea is to build a wall all the way across the screen so they cannot reach to the bottom.
And then what happens once they're stuck up there?
There is a speed up button to speed it up if there's a whole bunch of eggs left up there, so you don't have to wait for them to hatch. It'll go like 10 times normal speed, and they'll try to get down, they won't be able to, and then it's like, you win, game over. Otherwise, if they reach all the way to the bottom of the screen, they win.
Interesting.
So why'd you pick this one?
I've spent a lot of time on
Are you any good at it?
it. No, not anymore. Theory is, shoot them at the top of the screen, on the sides, and try to make a V-shaped structure, like a funnel. See, they'll go until they hit something, and I'm in a quandary here, because do I shoot them on the left or I shoot them on the right? No, the quandary is not the new Toyota.
Now, these games, all 5 of them, Vic's Picks Volume 1, are going to be available at the fair.
I brought
There's
it
gonna be a
just in case
small
you didn't have it, but
voluntary donation just to recoup the cost of the printed material and the small flash drive that's included for the games.
And when is the fair?
October 25th. And maybe by then we'll have, I was thinking of doing house picks, but they would all just be, Car Wars, right?
No, Zero Zap is
There-
on my
There's zero,
card.
five versions of Zero Zap.
That's the
That's
special
the
edition.
That's the only one I ever
Okay,
found.
now you notice there in the lower left, that one
When he was
bug
trapped, he turned into a,
couldn't go any further.
provided Dave free flash to correct
And
me.
they'll see where your gun
Play
is,
that together for hours.
Yeah.
and they'll do their best.
You get it.
About 25, 30 years ago.
And of course, when you run out of one screen of bugs, you'll get another screen of them. And now that one's trapped. Okay.
you almost got it.
So what is the 8 stand for on the left? Is that your number of lives? You've got 8 and 38.
Yeah, now this guy in the lower left, he'll go back and forth a couple times till he figures out he can't go anywhere. And it'll turn into a block. The next screen will get another cluster of eggs there at the top.
Dave wants to know what the 8 at the top of the screen is, and how many lives you have?
I don't know.
I think that's how many spaceships they got.
Yeah.
Don't I have a one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're like,
you
what's
know,
the
it's
call
just-
from Soap? What's his name?
Disappointed me about these games was
I think it's the number of blocks you created, the one on the right.
they can keep making.
Well, the one on the right is the
replacement
score, I
Bad
think.
guys. I never liked that, you know, it was
When you're finally done and they give you more.
Oh, it's interesting, he blocked
There.
his own buddy.
Okay, now I've built sort of like a ramp there on the right. Anybody who goes off to the right.
See, my next game is gonna be a game where someone who's the head of a computer group tries to clean out his build with his boat.
Will they get stuck there or will they
without
get
hurting his
through?
back.
No, they'll get stuck.
You can call it
It's
Bill's
Their
just-
Brain.
primary motion is to
called
head
sinking.
down.
never going to work.
Oh, and then they
Tell you
just
about my
die,
latest
okay.
adventures off
Yeah,
camera here.
but they'll go back and forth in a confined area a few times.
I think the screen is crooked.
I'm sure it is.
Okay, so if you can make a wall, you beat the, I gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
Go up the level.
John, do you have the instructions on what screen, what button you press to speed them up?
And
after you've made an impenetrable
And make a block.
area?
Yeah.
Pretty
So
soon, this
the
guy.
thing
sent the
now
law,
is to
right?
look sharp.
Pretty soon he's gonna
And
lock
not
me
Ring
up.
runs from half to
place.
the top of the screen, use the arrow keys S and D to move, F to fire.
And he's got this one right.
Of course, it's not perfect, because it's not a great camera.
Usually they won't deliberately walk into a line of fire.
So
You can destroy
what
them by
happens when
trapping
you
them.
have solid blocks across the
You
web?
win,
Yes,
and the bad guys can't get at you anymore.
Can you climb the blocks if you
There,
make like
okay.
a stairs?
Got it.
now whatever the win button is, you'll see them speed, all hatch and speed up. And I'll try like
So you
W,
get double
there.
points when you
That was
trap a
W.
bug. Oh, yeah, right here, okay, once you've
Oh.
done that, press W to speed up the game.
Okay, that's cool. Thought you would have to sit there the whole thing.
And how many is it like gonna be solid or, there were 400
That was good, very good, Vic.
That's cool.
Very good, and like I said, this collection with a nice printed manual.
Delivered anywhere in the world for $1 million.
Hal will personally deliver it to your house.
No, I think it's Vic that offers that
So Vic
service.
does that too? Okay, Vic, okay,
Anywhere
it's
in the
Vic's
Up
world.
to, that is
$1 million.
Vic's premier
A mere million.
service.
Kyle, you ready or need a couple minutes?
I should be ready.
Okay.
Well, as a break in the, well, as a break in the action, let me remind everybody that the fair will be October 25th and make your reservations, your airline reservations, your hotel reservations now. If you go online to the Evanston, Illinois website, you'll see all the different hotels. There's all kinds of information on there. Don't forget to make your reservations early, because the hotels do fill up
Flash
quickly
floppy.
Yeah.
as the
Good
thousands of
question.
attendees show up and demand a place to sleep that night.
This is not the one I sent you. There's been
Okay.
several people
And our
on
bigger
the
used to
solution.
always be in October
to
and
return
then,
the
or sorry,
payment.
November.
That is the one
Saturday,
that
November,
the
usually.
Mary is referring to.
It all depends.
Is there anything on this
There's
already?
exactly one image on
These
there.
instructions, they
That's what
say,
we
oh,
need.
here's how we follow football schedules.
There you go.
So the
That
one I
should
sent was
restart
actually
this.
more concise.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little
Because it
warmer
goes
in
straight
October,
to
I guess.
finding all the treasures.
A little bit.
And this is just
Some years
for
is
me.
much.
Yeah.
Okay, we got dead time here. What's going on here?
All right, so
Take away Kyle.
I brought in my little TI station here today because I'm working on the Flash floppy disk emulator, or the GoTech, and been having some trouble, so I figured maybe we could play around with it a little bit. You can't really see on the camera right now, but I don't know if it'll get that close, but I installed the firmware Flash floppy, which was recommended by a few people on Atari Age. The first time I tried to use, what's it called, XB, the one that you were talking about,
HXC.
HXC, and
HXC.
that just didn't work at all.
Oh,
And a lot of people, I think it's just an issue with me not knowing the right file formats and how to set it up correctly, but as you can see here, I don't know if they can really read that.
Yeah, it's a little better.
I tried Flash floppy because people said it was a little bit more user-friendly with the TI, and I believe that I have that installed correctly because it's displaying FF on the 2-digit display panel. And then I guess, you know what, I'll just put this down here, we can probably put it on this screen here. What's yours?
Oh, thank you.
Do a screen, looking at a screen, looking at a screen. So that's, you can see now, FF for Flash floppy. And then I'm set up on this screen over here. Will we be able to see that?
yeah.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
That works out.
Maybe stick this under here.
Not bad for handheld.
Kyle, is this in 4K?
This is 8K actually.
8K.
So,
Oh, you don't need me to hold it.
I think we're good, right? So I got it booted up, my pad, turn on my system, and I got Disk Manager 2 right now. So actually, I'm gonna boot down and plug this flash drive, which Jim brought a flash drive that is formatted correctly. Go ahead.
In theory, formatted correctly, and has exactly one disk image on it. And see if he can read it. And
What's the file system for the flash drive?
it supposedly will support, it's listed as FAT32, but perhaps it will support, the primary FAT variants, FAT12 and 16 as well, out of distributions, but for this,
FDX.
probably not exFAT.
Alright, so boot it up. We want to go to Disk Manager. And then we really just want to see what's on the disk, right? So that
Well, you're
would
gonna
be-
probably have to select the image first. On the
Okay.
Flash floppy interface.
So on here, if I press the two buttons, oh, there we go. And so this would, let's see. Oh, it hasn't
It's
done
gonna
that
probably
before.
it's probably scanning.
Comes up CP44RA32 UE 4.
I have no idea what any of that means,
Neither do I.
other than it
Can you
perhaps
take
an
it
error
now?
code.
CP44. It's not ER.
Well, let's see if you can read a directory, because there's only one image on there.
So we would do what?
Disk commands, I
Disk
believe.
command, yeah.
And then
Catalog
catalog disc,
disc.
see if you get anything. And which disc? 1 or 2 it's gonna be.
It might
Hopefully
be
it might be
two.
1.
Yeah, because we got the flip, right? So it might come up as 2.
Well,
Disc
no,
error,
one.
try 2.
Back.
Because if you don't have the disc select jumper set right for the cable, it might show up as 2.
So we're gonna try master disk 2.
No,
Wow.
Disk
It
error.
seemed like it was longer.
Is it already reading it and you just need to list files?
Well, that's what it says online, is that once you have the USB formatted correctly with a image on there, that you should be able to push these 2 buttons for just up
just
and
cycle
down
through, yeah,
to scroll through the list. And
I don't see anything changing.
yeah, and it's just giving us an FF.
but then when I hit the up button, I get this. And I think part of the problem too is that this is the cheapest GoTech, which I unfortunately purchased. Most of them have either the 3-digit display or the digital display, which would give you more information. So I think when it's giving us that like CP, there's probably a digit we're missing, I think, which makes it very difficult
We'll
to
try
read.
catalog again and do 3. Didn't do 3 yet.
Yeah, so let's do that. And then, yeah, try 3. So that would be catalog disc number 3.
Yeah, my guess is that's gonna also error out.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go ahead and make some changes to that disk, that
Well, before
flash
you do
drive
that,
and
how about
images.
trying one of the file commands, see if file, does it go back?
Well, my guess is the file commands are not gonna work, because if it can't read the disk index, then it's not gonna be
How
able
how
to
do you go
retrieve
back
the
to the
file.
previous menu?
Back.
File, okay.
So then, I guess here's another question,
You
because
can do disk test too.
Jim File created this disk, we believe correctly. Do we try wiping it and then kind of backwards check it, because then.
Well, I already reinitialized it.
What does disk test do?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna, all those are gonna fail until the flash floppy firmware reads the image.
Yeah, because
So
it
you
doesn't
still
know
have
that
to
it.
pick. Well, that's interesting. What's it
And
doing?
then,
Error.
yeah,
Mhm.
Okay, everybody know what disk error 16 means? I'll guess and say no disk
No
file.
disk.
Klaus,
Yeah.
Klaus wrote, no disk drive or drive not ready.
That's what I read online, yeah, is that it means it's not recognizing that there's a disk there.
all right,
at
so
all.
let me try making some changes to the configuration
Well,
on
just do
that.
the file one quick.
Yeah,
I'm
what is it,
curious.
old DSK, old.dsk?
Yeah, but this isn't,
Whatever,
this
whatever
isn't,
menu you had, that had file stuff on it.
Oh, here, I'll bring it back. Doesn't hurt to try, right? So disk
Is it
manager,
Tippy?
this is not the
No.
tippy.
and then that was under disk
File
file.
commands.
File.
Protect on a standard floppy controller.
See what happens.
Let's try copy file, anything?
None of that's gonna work.
Yeah. Yep,
Disk
disk
error
error
16 on the
It's probably
GoTech
for
floppy
maybe
emulator
for-
usually indicates a problem with the USB drive or its connection, or that the GoTech is not detecting the drive properly.
So then, I don't know if we wanna try, we might be able to, Vic, can you switch over to, or wait, no. Yeah, we're on this. I wonder
Ensure that it's formatted to 532,
if we
verify
need
if it's working,
to,
try a different USB drive.
here, I can let this hang.
That's why I gave up.
So I wonder,
Yeah, that hurt me.
This is what I'm gonna try.
do we wanna try to go, I don't know if we'll be able to reach, but grab that before the ribbon flip.
Yeah, I would try it before the, if you can, before the ribbon flip, because I don't recall if that is actually compatible with, 100% compatible with the shoe guard interfaces. What is your disk select set to, your drive select jumper set to on there?
I only have one jumper on, which is on, it looks like 8.0, or,
Well, it should be like DS0, DS1.
got this. Turn this off.
You want a magnifying glass?
Yeah, I think I had a minor problem with my,
It says you're supposed to copy one of the 3 configuration files on. your
Yes,
memory
it's
stick.
there. I've already done this stuff, so.
I'm
don't-
sorry. I'm just,
I understand you're just repeating things, but I mean,
yeah.
I understand. I've already done
because you
these
had told me you
things.
just formatted it, I didn't know.
I
that
think
you
with
put
my
something-
I
Loft
copied the
direct drive.
I
This is
set up
also
a
for the
I couldn't
configuration
get the
file.
Loft
I'm
direct at the
going to
end
try a
of the
different
ribbon
one,
cable,
so
because I wanted to
Okay.
set
Give
it
me a
up as
minute.
drive 2.
So
Mhm.
rather
And I
than
had to
offering you
set it up
suggestions that I've already
In the
taken.
middle connector and hook my
I did all
physical
that with
floppy, I
mine,
had to
too.
wrap the cable around backwards.
So see, I only got one on
Set my
there.
physical floppy.
Yes, but I mean, there
is-
should be 2 jumpers that are labeled one DS1, one DS2. PC drives are set to DS1 by default, but on the straight-through cable, it should be DS0.
What I read online was just take all jumpers off. I have J5, JA, JC, JB,
Well, you probably can't see it because it's probably hidden.
80, S1, and MO. Oh, it might be.
Here,
does that
you might be able
cost?
to see them on this one easier.
Excuse me, how much is that thing?
This one was about 25 bucks, and then I 3D printed the case, but I can't recommend enough. Spend the extra 10 bucks and get the $35 one, because I think that might be a lot of the issues that I'm
Yeah, I
having.
totally can't read
This is, this is the nicer
Magnifying
one.
glass?
I
this
need
one
like
has-
a microscope.
J5, JA, JC,
uh,
JB, JC.
Yeah, I was just trying to read the.
So you're
how to
looking
look-
for a DS0
How to
and a
format or
DS1
initialize
jumper
these
set.
things,
Does that one work?
and they seem
I
very
have no idea.
confusing on the hoops you had to jump through to tell
I have no
the,
idea, so.
Yeah,
the
there's,
tech you wanted to
I have
work.
no idea if they can. fly.
there's no DS, and what I read online is that if you want it to be disc 1, you just had no jumper. So I took the one jumper off that should, from what I read, make it just disc 1.
What said that?
I use my phone.
From a GoTech manual that I found on.
Okay, so if you have a GoTech manual for that specific model or family of drives, then if you set it to DS0,
And I wanted it with this.
then it should work on the straight-through cable.
So we should try that.
there's one guy here, and I know, Jim, I'm not saying this, he said that for him to get it to work as DSK1, he had to make the TI twist. on
He
the
needed
cable.
a twist.
That's what
Well,
it says
so
here.
if you're using it, so
Yeah,
if you're using it in default drive select mode, that may be true, but we don't know that his is working even correctly. I don't even know if they're flashed correctly. Looks like it, but,
well, that's why we're having this powwow here.
too many cooks.
Of course,
Because the USB needs to have the correct BSK format on it.
don't ask that,
Just,
that gets you.
don't tell me stuff I already know.
Alright, so I got
We
that
are-
on
John already said
non-twist.
that.
I like the one
But
with the.
this was from their forum.
I understand,
John
but,
sent out all the.
and I've read all of that material, and I'm trying a couple of different options, because people write poor documentation,
Big time.
So,
and
That's why I won't.
it's
that's
either
why I
too
gave up.
technical or,
Yeah.
not hand-holding enough,
Yep.
and, often implies things. So give me a moment.
so now
'Cause the more you bother me, the longer it's gonna take me to do this.
while Jim's figuring that out, I'll just let people know, I did just disconnect the ribbon and I connected it further down the line before the twist. I know that it's connected correctly because it displays the FF, where if it was upside down, it would give you an error. So it is set up the way that we want. So now, let's just try.
If it worked
this.
the first time, it wouldn't be TI. Seriously.
Is that,
Here's a question here, Kyle, for you. It says, did you purchase the version that had the HXC firmware already installed?
No, I did not.
Did you install that?
Yes.
Okay.
all right.
And I was able to get that installed correctly, couldn't get it to read a disk, so then I went on to try and flash floppy instead, per a few people in Atari age.
Yeah, they would know.
And
What'd you
it sa-
get?
For some bizarre reason, it says that that stupid configuration file has to be the very first thing on the stick.
It
Right.
is,
I know it is, I'm just repeating it.
Thank you to everybody in the comments helping out. 'Cause I have not been able to figure this out, and I will say, I did buy a cheap one that didn't have the firmware installed, and next time, I would definitely go for a model
I
like
think the
this
Dave
one.
version, and
What's the
the over the
difference in
Vic has the
price?
better one.
Does that one?
10, 15
Does
bucks.
that one work for your drive though?
We haven't tried this one. This one was from David that he gave to
David
Vic.
has.
Yeah,
the-
it's just another
$10
unknown.
I don't know if that's been initialized.
I don't think,
Let's-
does that have
uh,
firmware on it?
Yeah, it's all done.
Okay, so we could
You
try
wanna
that. if we
swap it
want.
out and give it a
Well,
try?
no. Well,
Let's
you've
try
already,
this.
you've already made changes. Don't discard those
Yeah,
changes.
so let's
Oh,
try
yeah, let's try it with, your repair.
So we just switched from the twist to the non-twist. Jim just reformatted this.
Well, changed
Changed
the configuration options and made another copy of the disk image with a different file name format.
Cross your fingers, cross your toes.
Alright, so now we're gonna try and catalog disk again. And we're gonna try one.
I wouldn't play it, Dave.
I'm watching to see if we get anything on the GoTech.
Yeah, does that have a,
So have you selected the image? Because the documentation claims you're supposed to,
Where do you select the image?
there are push buttons on the front.
No, that's all we get is the 2 buttons. So we wanna try
Are you
that
still getting
again.
the FF on the display?
Well, I thought it was supposed to actually select an image and show you the number of the image that is
That's what I
selected.
read. It's supposed to.
That's what mine did.
Okay, let's try the other then.
Alright. So we're gonna try this one. if
Yeah, I'll
that's
try
okay,
that
right?
one.
And this one has what is it, the XB, what was it called again?
Is it
I keep forgetting.
HXC or flash
HXC.
floppy?
I don't know.
One of them though?
I got it from Arcade Shopper.
Okay, so
It may have already been pre-flashed then.
Yeah, it is pre-flash.
It's pre-flash.
I'm pretty sure he puts HXD on
Yeah.
his if I
Yes.
remember right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then this might not work. I might need a different file format, but,
Do you wanna,
well, I don't know. I don't have the documentation for HXC in front of me, so.
as an aside on my Final Ground cartridge emulator, the config file is also the first thing that has to go on the SD card. And then I can juggle all the other files around it after that.
I never even heard of it. RBX?
RXP,
Oh, RXP.
No, it's
there's a few
HXC,
different
which is a
config
floppy
files.
emulator
we're
system.
just
One
talking
where it
about
goes to,
RXP.
blank
That's a
every time you
different
turn it
version
on, and
instead of
another
basic.
one where it
I've seen
remembers
it.
the last
Essentially
cartridge.
an enhanced
loaded.
version that can run both standard console basic and extended basic programs, plus has a lot of bug fixes and feature enhancements.
I'm not sure if I have this hooked up the correct way since it's different than mine, but let's see what it says when we flick it on.
Say anything out loud.
Ribbon cable may be upside down. Well, that answers that question. Thought I had it the right way.
You got the number 2, huh?
You have like 4 more,
Number 2.
webcams in the studio
I get the
controller
biggest kick out
to
of that, that's so funny.
zip around the room at different angles.
That's actually better than the number 1 because it's.
Flash floppy. Oh, it's got flash floppy on it.
Okay, so go ahead and give that a try.
It's like the old cheer.
You're the world.
Okay, plugged in.
They banned that at my high school, because everybody turned around and mooned, not mooned, they didn't take their pants off, but they mooned, Arch Rival to the city to the north of us, turned around and patted their.
Oh, there we go.
On the, room number 2, and,
Ooh, don't do any of those.
and there was a picture in the newspaper. of the
Yeah, and we
entire
don't know if
other-
those jumpers are incorrectly either.
KL99 says Jim is right.
There's that
Please,
little
you should
image
select the
printed
GoTech
on the,
device.
circuit
image,
board.
and He is not involved in the
And
image.
Of their suggestion of how the jumpers are supposed to be configured, but
Flip this off.
I need a magnifying glass to see something that tiny.
Right, yeah.
It was,
Yeah, so it brings me to flash floppy.
they told us if we ever did it again.
It gives me some settings
They
options.
put us in features, so that was the end of that.
Probably pull this out. So
The
flash
kids do
floppy?
that down there. We did at a basketball game.
To those settings. Oh, I hit both of them at the same time. We don't want that, we don't want that.
No, just push that down, hit exit, push it.
Push the knob.
Yeah, push the knob and there you go.
And then how do you know how to get it to catalog?
Yeah, I thought you just turn things.
So it must not be,
I must not be reading
try reset with it already plugged in.
What, both buttons at the same time?
Yeah, that does the same as pushing on the knob on this one,
Okay.
and
I brought a USB, do you wanna see if mine is recognized?
because yeah, from my reading, this should just recognize it, and then we should be able to start
Just
turning
select,
through
yeah.
knobs, yeah. And it's not giving it to us.
Cupcakes.
That gives me hope that mine might still be salvageable,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, if you've got media that you said you were able to step through, let's give that a try.
I don't know what's that.
Yeah,
is.
it's just
Maybe I wrote the
MCU
wrong
info,
one.
factory reset, firmware update, configure FF OSD. What's OSD?
On-screen display
So
probably.
that's not it.
Yeah, that's all just crap menus. Try this one. I don't know if I put anything on it, but at least. Because when I did it would just come up and it would have number 1 and whatever it's on there, whatever it's called.
It may take a second to scan it.
The light's not even on.
No.
You should, single sided, single density drive. We had a lot of noise, but it worked every time. Never had to worry about more than 90K.
Nothing.
It's not
Yeah.
working.
Where are you gonna put your little pooper word?
That's a good question.
That's why my screen was.
Your number 2
looks
pooper?
like this.
I think I'll do this,
So what that tells me is that
right there where
the
I.
firmware is probably installed right on
So
the
I
cheaper
remember.
one, right?
you know,
And it's
rule
kind of having
22.
similar activity, just the
Rule
difference is this one
22.
has a screen that allows us to see a
Never
little
take
bit
your
better.
time too seriously.
But, yeah, that's still,
Okay, let me try a couple different options and see if we can.
22. Yeah, never.
You
Hey,
need
look
this?
both of them up, one of them's got.
Yeah, let me see how this is actually configured.
What's number 2?
This is the word I got from me in second.
do you want me to maybe show what this one looks like plugged into?
Sure, here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, the adult video camera should have been on the other side, but that's
You ever
okay.
watch NCIS?
So,
I haven't watched it in years.
here is the,
So,
a little
yeah,
bit more
this
advanced
is,
version.
this looks like it's formatted, not HFS, it's gonna be either exFAT
Display,
or I mean, FAT32, it's gonna be exFAT. It's gonna be,
32.
All the rules.
well, I mean, the partition type is
Oh, I don't know.
HFS,
Wrong way.
you know, NTFS.
Yeah, that camera can only
exFAT.
focus so close, but I see it says flash floppy on there, I could read that.
And,
Yeah, so now we're trying that one
I know
out.
the guy.
Yes, hang on a second.
While Jim is working on that, I guess I might as well show off the rig, right? So, here's what I brought the TI in on.
Uh-huh.
Pretty basic cart with the full PUB, all my switches. I'm working on using this Windows 10 tablet as a screen with the HDMI to USB that in the back
Oh, yeah, yeah.
will be going to a little bit more stuff. I'm still missing one cord that's in the mail. But, yeah, let's try one more flash, I guess.
Or hook the camera back up on the tripod so I
tripod.
can point at what you're doing. Be a little more. I brought that in because I felt it'd be a little more interesting for the people at home to give them a "you are here" feeling
Mm-hmm.
and let them see what's going on.
No, the rules were updated. That's not
Go ahead. I can turn that monitor so you can just turn and pan the camera towards it.
Yeah, there's nothing in here, it looks like it's formatted NTFS, so there's no wonder why
Did
it
the
doesn't,
monitor just time out or is it the angle I'm
I
looking
think
at?
it timed out.
Are we
Let's try and turn this back on. I might have to hit the button again.
Because it's 256.
Yeah.
I don't think I would
Yeah,
have plugged
they're
it
past
in.
already.
Okay, well,
Power come out?
It's plugged in here. It's plugged in
Having a
there.
little bit
Oh,
of
there we
technical
go.
difficulties. Okay, we're back.
Must've been a loose wire.
There we go. Yeah, that's much better.
yeah, so this isn't
Yeah, I
even,
tried a whole bunch of
I think
little
that's empty.
tiny.
I gotta bring a bigger one.
Oh, okay. I tried a whole bunch of little tiny webcams, and they only had like half the resolution this vintage VHS camera had.
The palm cooler. Alright, so we'll give it one more shot with a different format.
Yeah, I'm gonna try doing Fat 16.
Then we
see
might
if
have
it's
to
not any better
make this a
or worse.
two-parter.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be out of town for a month and a half, so you might as well hang on to that. See which one of those you can get to work, maybe I'll teach you how to get the other one to work.
Okay, yeah.
But if
Yeah,
they've
if you
got
wanna
two
give me-
different operating systems,
if you wanna
flash
give
floppy
me
versus
one of the
HFC
two-
or whatever.
They're both flash floppy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're both
If
flash.
you wanna give me one of the two, so we can have, you know,
Yeah,
two heads working on
That's
this,
a good
that might
idea.
be a better.
Definitely.
Because
I'm
I've got
gonna
my,
stick with it
got my system set
I'll
up
just
at
work it
home,
went through.
so.
Well, between
That's a
uh,
good
Jim
idea, and then
Kyle-
if you're able to get one working on that one, that'll give us something to troubleshoot this, because then it absolutely should work, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Don't say
the-
absolutely.
That's
The two-digit screen was really not a good idea. I've
Yeah.
learned from my mistake, so don't make the
But
same
you saved $10.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
saved 2.5 gallons of gas.
I mean, how much was the device?
$25.
Well, that was a substantial savings.
Oh, yeah, 40%.
Yeah.
Wasn't worth it.
Do you two want to table this, or you want to keep trying, Jim?
Let's make one more attempt
One more
and then we'll
attempt.
table.
Okay.
Get the old college
If it
try.
worked right away, you wouldn't learn very much from it. It would be a plug and play operation, and it just, you wouldn't learn anything. This way, you're learning how the thing ticks.
Frustration.
The satisfaction when it does work is gonna be great.
I think you can learn how to make transparent aluminum easier.
Yeah.
You remember that from that Star Trek
Hello,
movie?
computer?
Hello,
computer? Just, oh, how quaint. Just type.
Well, then Scotty's a speed typer too.
Yeah, like
With
any
two
of that
fingers.
stuff meant anything.
With the 2 fingers.
2 fingers and it's like, really? No, but I thought they had actually invented transparent aluminum.
Well,
Yeah,
there was
smartphones
something
and-
that is more Star Trek-ish, but, I mean, transparent, sapphire is essentially aluminum oxide of some form, and they've already used that in laminated windows on space vehicles,
Okay.
so. it was
I
kind
was
of
reading a thing a
amusing.
couple years ago where they had a big article about how they actually invented.
Right, so
it.
they
Yeah,
tried to make a
life
pure
imitates
transparent aluminum,
Okay,
which is not practical in any way.
right.
But, I mean, you know, what is glass? It's silicon dioxide,
Right.
you know, purified and heated to a
Yeah,
certain
but there's
temperature.
no aluminum in there.
No, but that's silicon, so that's silicate glass.
Okay.
And aluminum glass is essentially a aluminum oxide has a crystalline transparent property.
I'm gonna put you
in
on the, I'm
sapphire.
gonna put you on the agenda for next month, talking about transparent aluminum.
Sapphire is essentially an aluminum
Yeah.
oxide.
I saw something on Slashdot about transparent wood.
Transparent wood?
Yeah.
See, this is why I'm an English major. I never had to worry about any of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
Surprised.
and then in the eighties, Chevy came up with the aluminum Vega motor block that did not have iron sleeves in it. And so it's like, well, how do you get an aluminum piston to ride against an aluminum cylinder without it galling? They had a high silicon-based aluminum for the block. And their final honing process with the felt pads removed the aluminum from the inside of the cylinder liner, so you're left with silicon, glass. And as long as you didn't overheat the engine or run it low on oil, you had an aluminum piston, you had iron piston rings running against straight silicon, glass. And it worked real good, as long as you didn't overheat your Vega or run it low on oil.
Remember the ceramic engine that was gonna be the next greatest thing?
I'm
Because
still waiting. I'm still waiting for my flying car, my jet backpack, a robot that'll shovel this snow off the sidewalk in front of the house for me.
That I would buy. I
Yeah,
would-
yeah. They got robot lawnmowers, they're like a big Roomba.
Oh, yeah.
It does the the same technology, just does a random
Just
pattern.
don't
After a
have
few
any
days,
small
it's
animals in
double
its
yard.
way, that's,
And of course, my favorite movie, the Jerry Lewis movie, It's Only Money, where they have those giant robot lawnmowers with the huge rotary drum of blades in the front of them spinning around, and they're chasing him all over the mansion, all over the yard. And he jumps up on a marble bench, and one of them goes up against the leg of the bench and grinds through the leg of the bench. And the top of the bench tilts, and he's backing up on it as the thing's eating the top of a marble bench. And yeah, those things are great, like a giant Norelco razor. My favorite.
Oh dear.
Okay, you got anything else, Tim?
Jim's working on one more flash
Okay.
drive here, and then we'll give it one more go. Let me get this down. This is ready to go.
Okay.
I'm just glad we made it through that transparent aluminum conversation without a double
We're not
dumbass
done, we're
on
gonna
you.
revisit that next month.
Mhm.
one more plug for the fair, the Chicago TIUG International World Fair. Don't we have a sign from last year, Jim? John? Tell me.
We have signs.
We have a sign here.
And the
somewhere.
first 100 people get in free.
Yeah,
We got this one, and we got this one, and we got.
Careful if you zoom in on the track viewer,
One
you'll
at
get
a
a
time.
Doctor Who opening scene.
Yeah.
Then tilt the camera a little bit. and then-
there's some signs from this past fair.
Oh, that's this fair coming up.
You
This
can
one coming up.
we'll zoom in on that, like that. John has made all of these,
Another one.
all of these signs, all the banners that were given away as prizes today. Did we show the prizes for the Truth or BS?
I don't think we did, I know.
Well, this is
Just a little poop.
This is second place. I won second place.
The BS contest.
That's a little amount of poo. Well, you can tell it's number 2. I don't know where number 1 is. Number 1 is out there somewhere. There's number 1.
Number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, it's a big pile of poo. Did we introduce Lucas, the bunny, I think? Have we shown Lucas?
We're ready for another try?
Give it another try and see
That
what we
was
got.
Lucas and Pass.
All right, last try for today.
And then do you know what controller you,
Yeah,
floppy
we'll show you the
controller you
button.
have in
Lucas
that
the
unit?
Spider
Is
is a
it just a
charming
standard
children's
single
animated
density
show on
controller?
YouTube.
I'm not sure. I'd have
For
to
little
pull it up
ones, they're only episodes about 2 or 3 minutes long. It's voiced by the creator's 5-year-old nephew, is the voice of Lucas.
Can you imagine a world where spiders and dinosaurs are the things that kids really like?
Yeah.
All right, last try for the day.
Here we go.
You know, I mean, do you
Drum
have it
roll.
on?
Oh,
Blurry screen.
Now you need the drum roll.
Let's try that one more time.
Sound effects
You want
technician
to
are
go
a little
on
slow
and see if
today,
it'll
but,
select?
oh, we have a list.
We have something.
We have a list.
Well, we got something.
Da-da-da-da.
Jim Knight has saved the day here.
that was a sound-
This manager?
that was a,
Hey, that's something. No, that's not it.
Disk command. Catalog disk.
Are you sure
Now,
that's a
it's
drum
on the
roll?
twist, so we might have to try 2.
That was-
So
Catalog disc number 2.
Catalog disc number 2.
Oh,
There we
that's
go.
different.
Oh, yay.
We did it.
What was wrong, Jim?
Yeah.
What's that?
What was wrong?
I reformatted it FAT16 and it seems to like it, so maybe it doesn't like,
And what did you do
Fat
before?
12 or
it was,
fat
it was
32.
FAT32 with the standard FAT32 partition
Oh, okay.
table mark. So maybe it wants an exFAT, I don't know. Or it wants LBA mode. We'll have to fool around with it a little more.
Well, congratulations. It
Very
was
impressive, Jim.
just
Yeah,
I knew it would be
nice.
something simple.
Now, which driver are you using?
So,
Now the trick would be to change the drive select on the flash floppy to drive select 1, and then it should be drive 1 at that point. So let's turn it off.
Yeah,
It's 0 now, right?
Right.
on my
Because it's on
Lozerac
the
drive,
twist, it's inverted. So
I
now
went
it
to the
thinks it's
circuit
1.
board
Yeah,
drive
I
is
knew that'd be
mounted
a
on,
problem when I was
and I put a
trying to-
little toggle switch on it. And I
Well,
did the
now I
same thing
wonder
for my
that we know
physical
that.
floppy drive, a half-height
should we
drive.
try the same one on that one real
Select
quick and
either
see?
one.
Sure, we can try the other unit as well.
You just can't set a voltage.
Yeah, I'll
drive
take that
on
with
both
me,
drives.
you know, do some more
But it
work
gives
with
me
it.
the luxury of if I load something on one disk, I can, run it.
So
on
do you
the
know
other.
what drive select you have that set for that one?
Well, it told me to just take off the jumper for drive 2, or for drive 1, but since it's got the twist, I'm thinking that.
Well, if it's a twist and it's set to drive 1, then it's gonna be drive 0, which is what you want if
Yeah.
you want it to be disk 1.
Yeah, so few floppy cables are straight through anymore, because IBM went like, well, we'll just make every drive a drive 1, and use the twist to make
Cable
it
on
either
backwards.
drive 1 or drive 2.
Don't know why you keep doing that.
Well, I mean, you probably have a pin 1 marker on the board, and you
If I
probably
order any more of these, if
have
anybody's
a
interested,
red
let me know.
stripe for pin 1
Basically,
orientation.
$22
And also
plus
usually the
$3
little
for a flash
notches
drive, so
coincide with the
25
little
bucks.
notch there.
So,
What is that? on
Yeah,
the
that's
back?
cool, that's even smaller in my
But
transfer.
hopefully if you get it working, it'll just go in there
Because TI
permanently
does all the
and
Atari
not have to be
games and
futzed with.
Right.
Until you decide you must have
Yeah.
a flop. You just
Parsec.
select 0.
all in.
Okay.
So my guess is
171
the
TI
reason it
games.
didn't
That's
work with
total
FAT
games, probably
32
about
is either
40,000.
because it's such a small flash drive that it rejects that it could ever be a FAT 32 file system. Or it wants a different.
That was 25 bucks
a
before the
different
tariffs.
partition
Now it's
table
probably
marker
50 bucks, 60 bucks.
than a
It's an
straight
extra
FAT
10%, so now it's like
32.
26 bucks.
What's interesting is you can walk along talking to it while playing the game.
There we go.
Yeah, so you're all set.
I don't think- I don't-
Jim fixed it.
Well, I
I have
didn't
a more
fix it.
advanced version
We
that
just
doesn't run TI
verified it
and
works. So
everything
for
but
whatever
TI, and it has
reason,
a
it is
HDMI out.
rejecting FAT 32 on that
Like I
particular
said, I
drive.
wouldn't count on it.
Is really what our problem is. So if you've got like small
I
capacity
know that I
drives,
have a
try
little
FAT
box, Dave's
16
got
with
one, does yours still work?
a hex
Your little
6 digit
emulator
is the
box?
partition ID in the partition table.
Do you?
Let me also try a couple different options with FAT 32, unless you want to be done for today.
I mean,
To
if
tell you the
it
truth,
works,
it's
it
so much
works,
simpler
right? I
just
mean, the
to
main
buy
thing is I
Well,
want to
the
be able to.
biggest issue is that
Just to buy
FAT
one already
16
done.
has a
You know, I mean, I did several.
the
of
file
them
system
sometimes where I
limitation of
bought
2
the
gigabytes.
$200 box.
That's
that
fine.
next to the
Now, you
TV
trying that
controllers,
FAT 16 drive
and then I
in the
imaged
other
the,
Go
Yeah,
Tech?
yeah.
We just
The
tried it
original
out.
Terabyte
Yeah.
SSD,
Yep, and it
got
worked.
everything on there.
Oh, okay, so that was it.
And,
Yep, yeah, you can see this
Right,
is,
so-
this is mine,
Thank
and it's
you,
working.
James.
So the
Yeah.
partition table for that size
Drives or
drive
flash drives
was
that are already
rejecting it for whatever
pre-installed in the
reason.
So
software.
what files do you have on
The only
it?
thing
I
you
just
don't
have the
wanna do is take all
telco
the-
disk
Or virtual
because,
Japanese stuff
disk,
and
it's
Japanese
just
stuff you
a
don't
blank
want.
disk or?
yeah, all I have is one disk image on there and it's a copy of telco because I needed to make sure I could
Right.
generate working media for that for John
But
Mark
this one
when
here,
he
I mean,
does
I
his
just bank
That's
demo.
gonna be next month's
But this
meeting,
one
is the
here
telco
will
meeting,
run
right?
No,
Up to
because
PlayStation
John's not gonna
1.
be here for that meeting unless we wanna move dates.
$200 that one that's like.
Because he's got an event.
Whatever, game board.
Awesome, we're in business now.
Switch.
Now,
So try FAT
The
16.
other one, PS.
do you think you can copy
Do you want
me?
you want me to format one for you?
Sure, then I don't have
But
to,
Is this actually a flash
This is
drive?
that one's a
32.
flash drive.
How big is it?
So,
I think that's a 32
so
gig.
bang for the buck,
Let me
$22
try
up to
formatting it
PlayStation
with
1.
different, let's try
Versus
FAT 32
$200
with different
PlayStation
options.
2, which
Sure.
kinda-
I
and
can just keep
GameCube.
this hooked up and play with it as we're
Yeah.
doing stuff.
Okay, so do we wanna, so we're gonna continue doing a little bit of testing here. But I don't know if we wanna continue on stream or if someone else has something else to.
He's got a demo that he wants to do, we're running over,
Okay, so let's switch to him.
Okay.
Kyle and I will just do stuff in the background.
Okay, got it. What do we got, Vic?
Well, a very difficult adventure type
Is there
game
anything on here that is
written by
worthwhile?
Scott Adams called Return to Pirates Island. I see it's letter E on this menu. And the novel thing about this game, no printer. Yeah, sometimes you want to print out what you've been doing, so you can
Yeah, so
do a
you saw
review
the
and
format
figure out what
for
you've done, but no, we have no
532
printer.
I had straight
We're not going to reload an old game.
This
Assuming
ID,
this was not
then
written by
I partition
GameStop.
ID of B, that's,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna try
Something you
that
don't
and see if
usually
it
get
makes
in an
that
adventure
any
game
better or worse, but I'm gonna.
is
I'm gonna
a
blank-
image.
blank the
This is the
partition
only-
and the
I don't mean
sector,
that you-
yes, no,
partition
go ahead.
This is
group
the
sector
only
first, just to make sure
Scott
all that
Adams
stuff is clean.
graphic adventure that was ever
that's
done. And it was for
throwaway
TI.
jump
He didn't do it for
drive,
any other system. This is the only one.
I just like it because it looks
So
good
this
in
is
there.
from the Scott Adams. It's the only graphic
It's not a big
adventure
honking
that he
thing.
did in any
Right.
The
system.
front
Yeah.
end.
So I'm sorry.
Nice.
Greg.
You
You-
have
Well,
to be
when the
in
guys
very
at
large
Atari
to put
Age
everything in it.
worked on the
He's
GEM
gone.
project, the
Still
graphic
here. You did a
environment
thing, you did a
manager,
presentation at the fair.
that included graphics, the missing link, DM1000, and a couple versions of extended basic, enhanced extended basic, in one cartridge. They had this split screen, graphics on the top and text on the bottom over at Atari Age. They included this in it. The only other program I think I've seen that does this is the invasion of the Mexican UFOs that we demonstrated a few years ago. So anyway, you got graphics on the top and text on the bottom. We'll hit the any key. Scott Adams Graphic Adventure, Return to Pirates Isle. Copyright 1983. Written by Scott Adams and special assistance from Eric White, Scott Smith, and Lynn
Hitchhiker.
Palladino. With love to my mom who made it all possible. The next picture you see is correct. Do not try to adjust your TV. Just use your adventuring skills. John, you want to read this out?
The solution?
Yes.
Okay. The solution is Scott Adams' graphic adventure Return to Pirates Island by Joe Waters and Barry Boone. This was done for all the TIers who are fed up with this game. The following command should be typed in exactly as they appear. Remember to save your game often, as we found out the hard way. If you want to play the game without the pictures, press Z. To restore the pictures, press Z. I have found no differences between the disc and cartridge version of this game, so I'll assume the solution file will work with either of them, though it was tested on the disc version. Good luck.
Okay, get it from here.
There you go.
So, this is one of 4 different solutions I found online. This is one of the earlier solutions where they missed a couple of the treasures to pick up, and that's in the addendum at the end of this file on how to get these items. So flipping over to the next page, I'm going to follow their instructions here, so it's,
Hey Victor, something wrong with the picture. Maybe you want to pull the cartridge out.
yeah.
Actually, I was thinking of the Dilbert Scott Adams.
Oh,
So lift the mattress.
common name.
I found something and I got it. I hear an alarm clock ringing somewhere. Everything is now exactly dark, but too fuzzy to see. All right, he doesn't automatically tell you what it is you got.
Put in your contact lenses.
So if I type in at least the first 4 letters of the word inventory, you've got something, but you can't inventory it yet. Okay. So get up. I can't
Put in
see.
your contact lenses.
When you,
Well, because this is a solution, we know that you've picked up a pair of glasses, even though this program refuses to tell you what your inventory is, that you've got a pair of glasses in your hand that you got from underneath the mattress.
What's her glasses doing under a mattress?
I do that all the time.
Okay,
Could be smashed.
No.
there, now you can see the
Under
cabin
my
clearly.
pillow.
That's what you were looking at. So there's a fan in the upper left corner, a wheel in the front, a window where you can see clouds and seagulls. You can see a bunk there on the right, an upper bunk and a lower bunk, and a set of stairs on the left. Your
Are there
obvious
hearing aids you
exits.
can put on?
Pardon?
Hearing aid.
Yeah,
How come there's no, the graphics are kind of clunky?
yeah.
how they look.
Obvious exits up and down. So part of these instructions are, we would go up. I'm in a top bunk. Some visible items are face mask and a diamond
Change the
watch.
drive select on this, and we'll
So you
test
take
it one
mask.
last time. If it's correct, then we'll just give it to Vic at that point.
Smash the diamond watch.
Well, this one it made us do drive 2.
Right,
So
so what is the option for drive select? Because if it's gonna be on the twist cable, it needs to
So you
be.
go down from the top bunk.
only J5, JA, JC, JE.
Oh, there's a
Well, I've
seating
seen this
bunk
place
bed.
before, I've been here before.
Yes.
Let's ask Dave and see if he.
A Dharma
knows
alarm
what
clock
drive select
will ring
jumpers
through
are.
about half the game.
Otherwise, I'll just take it.
And
figure
what it
out
is,
myself
it's a
and bring it.
clue that there's part of the ship that you cannot get to while you're on the ship. You gotta get off the ship and go somewhere else and get onto a different part of the ship to find that darn alarm clock.
Does anybody here know about ships?
In Navy,
I've never met a ship you can't get onto.
Could be, try taking that
Get
one off.
into, unless someone else owns it, in which case it's very difficult to get into.
That's when
Unless
the
you
ship
have-
hits the fan.
Yeah.
Ship, it's the.
And that's when you have to
So
have
that's
that little
what our
wrench and
inventory
that
is.
tick, you know, you can get into almost
So,
anything these days.
So let me ask you a question, do the graphics actually help in any way? Or is it just a gimmick? I mean, it has to be
And
asked.
then try it and see if it's working.
it decorates it and it makes it a little more interesting than just a text adventure.
But it's
Well, no, I
a
understand,
static, it's a
but-
static image out of
Mhm.
text mode game, it looks like.
Because I mean, think of Mist, it was originally with static
Okay,
images,
this is
but obviously
where
kind of graphics.
We have to drop all our treasures, so it's like,
I guess in its day, this was,
actually, since we have a book,
hey, what happened to that watch, the diamond watch?
I think we still have it. Yeah, you still got it. They're in asterisks, which lets you know that's one of your scavenger hunt treasures that you get
Ooh.
scored on. So you read the booklet, how to make glue from funori, whatever that is.
Nori?
So now we'll drop.
Nori.
I have no idea.
Thought you would know everything.
Well, what it is, it's kind of algae or something that you gotta find later in the game. And you gotta glue the lenses from your eyeglasses into that skin diving mask so you can see underwater.
Yeah, it's marine algae,
Mm-hmm.
gluey.
So, we'll drop the book.
That damn alarm clock keeps ringing.
Oh, yeah, that's, with glee on like about page 5 or 6 of these
Could
solutions
maybe try the other position.
printout. It's like, that'll fix that darn
That is
alarm
finding
clock,
the
'cause I think
floppy
you
image
bury
in
it in the
It is
sand
finding-
under the ship in the
And
ocean.
that's basically what we're in.
Drop book,
Yeah,
drop
so what it
watch.
might be is because that's such a small.
What are you just trying to help get
this,
past
it
the
might
impossible
have to
part?
be
Is that what we're doing?
probably- no, it's a factor.
Well, this is one solution. Pretty much, I defy anybody to just play this game and figure all this out. Well, some people did. They have a lot more patience than I do. Okay,
So it's
so,
considered a difficult game.
yeah, it's up there in difficulty. So if we look, we're in the ship's cabin. Some visible items are a painting, a bunk bed, face mask booklet. The asterisks, diamond watch, that means that's one of the treasures you get scored on. A portal at the helm and a ceiling fan.
You're probably not reading War and Peace.
Yeah, that's probably.
Now we move the
Oh,
bed.
writing it, yeah.
I found something and I got it, but it doesn't tell you what it is.
There's that alarm clock.
Try one of
again.
these, try one of the,
I don't want to throw us in the
you don't have to-
Those glasses,
You and I would get along very well.
Oh, you're wearing a
At the
diamond
bottom,
ring.
I would take the top.
Why don't you just
Okay.
lift the top off the water?
that's what he has a wife for.
Put it back
so
the
this
way
is
it
where you
was,
drop all
it's
your
probably not
treasures
the
and
right
get
jumper.
scored on them.
Oh, sorry, we're on top.
Look ceiling,
You don't have a peanut allergy, do you? No, I can't get it. Because next month.
if you look at the ceiling,
You can also double check your ribbon
You
cable,
see
make sure it's
a,
seated correctly. and
small
have it,
button
like,
in the
offset it
ceiling.
Do you
accidentally.
know where they're from? They're very good.
so you push the button.
It doesn't say on the box.
Oh, no.
So where could you get these hints now? Is that the stuff you want to be posted on the webpage, or?
Yeah, this was about 10 or 15 years ago, I found these
Okay.
hints, Return to Pirates
Because I
Island.
don't know if we have Pirates Island on the webpage. I know I installed all the Scott Adams disc/cassette games are on the
Yeah.
webpage, but I don't know if I did this one.
This version of Return to Pirates Island is a bin file, it's a cartridge file. I looked and I couldn't find a disc file of Return to Pirates
I
Island.
think it's 100% cartridge. I will post the bin file on the webpage this week
If I start.
Right.
with the solution, so that
Alright.
people could use as much of the solution as they need to,
Mhm.
without ruining the entire game. Otherwise, what's the point?
So you push the button and you hear a click. I hear an alarm clock, then you go look at the fan. The fan's turning. Okay, what the idea is you want to leave the fan running long enough to run the ship's battery down to where the fan stops turning, because there's a treasure hiding on top of one of the fan blades where it don't belong. But if you run the battery down too low, you won't be able to start the engine later on in the game, which is necessary. Because pushing the button, and they don't mention it here,
So if you run the battery down, does it end the game, or does it just make it impossible to finish?
well, you want to run the battery down slightly till the fan stops.
Well, I'm just saying, what if you screw up? Does it say?
That's the end of
game's
the
over?
game, so these
Okay.
guys say, save your game frequently.
Well, what I mean though, is does the game tell you that's impossible to now finish, or
I
does it
don't
just
know.
let you just keep going until you give up?
Yeah, I think you'll keep trying and you go, oh, I gotta start the engine, but the battery's dead.
Right.
Because I left the
Single
floodlights on. This doesn't
double-sided
tell you
single
you're turning the
density.
floodlights on and deliberately running the battery down till
So
the
you have a
fan
single
stops.
density controller.
Well, let me ask you this though, in your opinion though, compared to the text
I can
ones that
just
you
drop
played on,
files
so
onto it.
how does this compare? Is this
And
just
it's set
something
for
like a
automatic
novelty,
configuration.
or is this?
I didn't.
Well, it's a
didn't
novelty
put
with
it
the
in
graphics, that does dress it up a bit,
Disc,
letting you see everything rather than having to imagine everything all the time. Yeah, you can't play it as a text mode only, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary, although there are parts, you get the part of
do
the
one
island
For screen.
where it's, you can actually get to the original Pirates Island,
Mhm.
and there's a sign that says that.
Okay,
And
that's a
that makes it a
problem.
bit.
At least
Sign
it's
that
reading
says
it in
this
some
is the original
capacity.
part.
You might
Yeah,
have to,
yeah.
you might have to tinker with some of the
We're going,
options.
we're going
Okay.
really late, so
Oh, okay.
we're about a half hour late.
But at
So if
least
we
it's
say,
reading with it as
wait.
well.
Way better than we were.
Sometimes pirates aren't that nice.
You can wait and look at the fan. Wait.
We're so far ahead now.
The instructions say you might have to do this a dozen times.
Wait, look at family.
That's how they make you leave.
What did people?
Okay, the fan has stopped, so now you definitely want to push that button and turn the floodlights off. Because you don't want to run the battery down so low that you can't start the engine and recharge the battery and run the
You might
floodlights
have, still
later.
have a problem. We can probably try with
The fan has stopped, so we push the button. Okay.
I want to test some cabling.
We got one more thing on the agenda.
It's inventory. Oh, a diamond brooch. That's the third diamond thing. We've got a diamond ring, a diamond brooch, and a diamond watch. So now you would, now the fence, we would drop the brooch. Because this is the area of the ship where you drop all your treasures, even those stamps that you don't want to let them get wet. Okay, now we go down. All right, here's a change of scenery. You're in the engine room.
Oh, nice. I've never seen this. Does anybody get this far?
Go to the engine. I'm on the engine. Look at the engine. I found something.
Sit on engine.
Inventory. You found a screwdriver.
Is it vibrating?
Now go down off the engine. All right, now we're back in this scene of the engine.
Saloon
Go.
version.
Go down. Go up.
Dave, you're up next, so get ready with your props.
Okay, now we're back in the cabin. And the fan has stopped turning. Now we have a screwdriver.
It's like horizontal, the others are, you know.
Yeah. Unscrew the blade of the fan.
Might be a neutral position or something.
It doesn't tell you what you've got.
Ground pins or something.
You've got a fan blade. It's like, what am I gonna do with a fan blade? Well, it makes sort of like a shovel for digging in the beach later on. And that's all. Here,
But we're not gonna, are we gonna complete the whole game?
no.
Okay, I was gonna say, let's leave a little
You can drop
something.
the-
Yeah, let's do something
Screwdriver.
for the folks at home.
Yeah, let's leave a little bit something.
Now you can go up. Now change the scenery, there's the dock. You can see the dock.
Technically, that's the pier.
And yeah, there's the dock. And you can go
Technically,
to
that's
the,
pier. The dock is the body of water between two piers.
Who taught you about
again, you
boats?
can abbreviate the commands. You don't have to type in the whole word, just the first 4 letters. And the programmers are, they don't have 2 different commands that use the same 4 letters.
Did you guys need more time, or we're just gonna do the afterward thing?
Do his and we'll do it afterwards. There's no
Yeah,
reason. we
David's
need
got
to-
one more.
Yeah, there's no reason we need to
Okay,
do
ready?
cable testing. on
Yeah,
that.
let's go, let's finish this up, right? I don't mean to be rioting you.
Now you can dig in the beach. Now that you've got the fan blade, you can use some, is it to dig? But what have you got? Ah, you found a bottle of rum.
Ah,
Say yo ho.
Yeah. Okay, so that's about as far as I'm going to go with this today.
Rick, that's excellent, it really was.
Yeah.
We're just, it's been a long day, that's all.
I love those graphics. I think that actually does enhance the game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd never seen that before, and,
Because after all, if you imagine a beach in your mind, this looks much better than what you could
yeah, I
imagine.
think this is cool. I think it's,
Dripping with sarcasm.
yeah, no, I think that it does provide, for me at least.
So we'll get this up on the webpage
Yeah,
with the solution for people
Mhm.
who need.
yeah, yeah, you have,
help.
the improved
Maybe we
solution.
could put this in Vic's Picks Volume 2.
So.
How about have a Vic's games that he doesn't like?
Yeah. Well, the ones I've hated the most.
Vic's hates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
So you can jump up to the top of the hill, because there's a small ledge there, there's a narrow crack in the rock. Oh, there's a sleeping pirate.
Don't give any more away. You're terrible.
Again,
There's not a
I
brothel or anything
really
else on it.
enjoyed playing Scotty Adams text adventure games.
That would be fun.
All of them are,
Every
with the
pirate
exception of this
has
one,
a
which will be up
brothel.
next week,
Mhm.
are on our webpage.
Remember
Um,
Leisure Suit Larry?
Where you can download either for the hardware or they actually have emulators, so
Did
you can play with the
play,
emulator too. In addition to that, we have all the Infocom adventures
Mhm.
that are up there also.
Online, but.
Thank you, Vic, that was
we used to-
excellent.
we used to
That was
play
it.
that.
So who's up next?
David,
You're up.
you're up. Who's the cameraman? Kyle? Kyle's the cameraman? This is the show and tell and location, whatever you wanna do, Dave.
How's the camera working, James?
It's doing
Do show
okay.
and tell
Rather
today?
you having to move your phone, I know your phone is fussy.
I think
You
it's
gotta
The
reset
phone
it.
is fussy and the tripod mount is even fussier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go.
Alright, so the first one, can anybody guess where this is from?
Yeah,
Kmart?
that is,
Babylon 5.
yeah, that is the crystal that was used to communicate with the Black Guardian,
Turlo, yes.
Turbo, yes.
This is his crystal that he would communicate with. I just put this light there. When he would communicate, it would light up, so I added that.
Did he have a flashlight when it lit up?
No. Actually, it's funny you ask, because the way they did it is they put like this thing through his
Fiber optic,
sleeve. Yeah,
right, yeah.
and he said it would burn his hand.
Oh, nice, yeah, because it was, or an actual incandescent light.
Yeah.
Probably would-
He
So
would
it's
hold
probably
it.
heating up.
You gotta suffer for your art, right?
Next is the fourth.
He didn't have to act that he was being, tortured
It
by the Black
burns, it burns,
Guardian.
it really burns.
Uh-huh.
Next, oh, I don't know, we should pass them around. Next is the fourth Dr. Sonic screwdriver.
Huh.
Kind of boring.
Super.
Third Dr. Sonic screwdriver. Kind of 70s looking.
What else you giving me?
And last up, but not least, before I open it, Doctor Who fans might be able to guess what this is.
Plastic.
That's the thing that you put the bread in so it doesn't go bad.
Yeah.
Tupperware.
It's not the correct size, but it's exactly like it was. Can anybody guess? True fans?
What
What's
was the,
inside?
what was your description?
I don't want to give it away.
Is that what a Cyberman
You
kept the
said, so you
Cyberman?
you
Those are
said
the
at
Cybermen.
least 3 sentences before you asked your question. I didn't hear any of them.
Go ahead, I'll shut up.
This is, I don't remember what I said, but any Doctor Who fan would recognize this is from one episode. One of the companions would carry this around.
That was when Tegan was selling Tupperware.
Sarah Jane Smith.
Shoebox of,
What, is this
Sarah
hand
Jane?
of fear thing?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna
That's
have,
actually-
So is it Eldred's hand?
yes, Jim, open it on camera.
Or are we going to all be
The
irradiated?
hand of fear.
Yes.
Jim, you know your Doctor Who on the
Oh,
dress.
wow, cool.
Eldred must
Eldred
live.
must live. How, but the crystal on the ring doesn't illuminate, does it?
Why must
No.
Eldred live,
Why do you
Sarah?
bring this half-assed crap to
Eldred
talk about?
must live. The way she squeaked that must.
And I bear no resemblance to Sarah Jane Smith.
I still think that's when Tegan was selling Tupperware.
You
You know, you get an advantage because when you're in TARDIS,
Yeah,
you think
so
of all
you
the
needed to give me a
places
couple of
you can
hints
sell.
for that. But, yeah.
And actually,
Let it be list 5
actually,
Three.
really quick,
or 3.
Yes.
yeah, 3. This ring comes off, it's actually a separate purchase. They gave me a crappy little one, but then he just did this one, the guy in England, and it doesn't fit my finger, but the way they used to carry it in the shows, they would
Right.
put it up, it would,
Mesmerized.
Mhm.
Is that a real hand?
but it crawls in the show.
Yeah, yeah, they'll be
Actually,
interested.
the show is a real hand.
Yeah.
So careful what you pick up in a quarry.
In a quarry,
Yeah.
Eldred's hand. And,
Thing's second cousin.
yeah. I was gonna say something.
Had a couple of relatives were big
Yeah, his
fans of
relative
Dr.
from
Who.
the
They had to
UK.
see that came out.
back
across
of
the
that.
pond.
My wife would like that.
And it could be a back scratch.
Yeah.
What else we got?
That's it.
That's it?
I think that,
I thought you had a full-size TARDIS you were gonna
Can you
bring.
do the
I
Vulcan
do at
thing?
I could have brought my scarf, but
He's actually paid, he's got a full-size TARDIS.
I do in my garage.
Nice.
do you drive it?
Wood.
He sits in it and, you know.
Do you have a refrigerator in it with all your beer?
No, I wish.
I bet your wife probably would like it too.
What's
When
that?
Tom Baker
Oh.
was,
The
first
sonic screwdrivers?
started in the United States,
Yeah.
he started
So if anybody out there is a Doctor Who fan and you'd like to have something shown at one of the
And
future
when I was friends with
segments of show and tell, just let us know, and I'm sure David has it. And if he doesn't have it, I'm sure it'd be
It'll
a
go
great
on to
excuse
his-
for him to acquire it.
Yeah, his acquisitions list.
Yes, he would definitely, you would take,
Sounds like a shaver.
I would.
Sounds like a shaver.
A sonic shaver.
Dental
Yeah.
work.
Since we were bringing in toys, I did bring my phaser just for.
Oh,
Well, this is the Star Trek.
Wrong
next
franchise.
Star Trek.
Does it make
You
it
gotta let me
Next
know
week.
on those emails that you wanna be on the
Yeah.
Star Trek, gotta be on the agenda.
Yeah, but we do have the tri-viewer, so
Yeah.
it's not off topic.
I won't stand up.
on Facebook, Richard A. Coyle, who runs RAC Props, made a S-load of prop ray guns for Hollywood for a decade.
Oh, yeah?
Just about out of his trailer, out of his van, out of his garage. Yeah, Richard A. Coyle.
Good
I
direction.
made a whole bunch of stuff.
I'll have to look that
You're
up.
behind, you're
Including
behind
those
me.
and
Yeah, hold it up
communicators,
over.
Like
Yeah, there you
tricorders.
go.
I don't know if you can see this, this
Probably
is
not.
something I picked up from China, it's $22. It plays 171 TI games and about 70,000 other games, but, let's see, there we
That
go.
is neat.
See,
That's really
got parsec going on there in the background. Obviously, it's probably not good for text adventures, but.
But can you run personal finance?
That is, sadly,
Home record,
Can you play zeros app on it?
Zeros app, let's see, we have a request. Let's go down and see if they have Zeros app. And we do not have Zeros app.
I
We
don't
do
want-
have Car Wars,
I don't want it,
we got Car Wars,
no.
Zero that.
I got 4A Flyer,
No.
so anyhow,
No
you wanna
zeros
round
app,
this up?
I'm never gonna get one.
Health, the 4 zeros, the last, and then you wanna do your national, are we still doing that? So say your closing comments.
Aren't you doing something about the locations?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
really quick, this help my questions. If you look at, it's been up there for a while, but one of our meetings places is, St. Nikolai Church. It's on Wellington and
It's,
Kedzie, yes. And we met there, I can't remember, the dates are on there on the video, but, funniest thing is it was kind of snowing, so I walked up there. Nobody was there, I walked up to the door and the doors are, you'll see on the video. So I started walking away and then all of a sudden I heard the door creak open. So I turned back around, I'm like, oh, hi, and she was all scared of me, She wouldn't open the door, so I stood away and I just said, oh, I used to come here when I was a little boy. I lied, of course. I just wanted to look around and film.
Lying to a representative of the church.
Yeah, she's just looking like, she thought I was ice or something. I
I was
don't
telling you
know.
were selling watchtowers.
But anyway, she shut the door and I'm like, I don't give a crap, so I started
So
just
you left
walking
before the
around
cops
filming.
get there?
Yeah, I just walked around and filmed
Jeez.
anyway. But, yeah, I never went there, I know we had a meeting there, so Hal might have some.
if you went to the back, if you went into the alley, if you dare, go in the alley, there's a big window there, and you could look in and see the front of the room. You could see, in fact, the whole room from that window.
Oh.
And that's where a guy drove up his van a number of years ago in one of the meetings, opened the back of the van, and the window was open because it was pretty high. And he said, I've got one of everything that TI ever made, or everything was made for TI. And suddenly, there was a kind of a feeding frenzy towards that window. And Don Walden and I, fortunately, were pretty close to the front of it, and he started handing things in. And Don started grabbing all of the mathematic cartridges were coming in, pushing them in his shirt. I started grabbing all of the English learning and language ones. And then other stuff kept coming in the window, and people just were handing out handfuls of cash. And he had his son out there who was just taking a handfuls of cash, stuffing them in his pockets. And eventually, I saw the light pistol, the only thing I really wanted to buy, a light pistol in the form of an actual revolver. It came through the window, and I reached for it, and somebody else got it first. And there was a lot of bargaining and bartering afterwards. People had stuff that they had just grabbed and paid for, didn't really want, but wanted something else. And meanwhile, this guy, with all of this cash, because it was all cash, told his son, get in the car, we're leaving now. And away they drove, and I don't know who they were, I never saw them again, they never came back to another meeting.
Independent
And,
vendors.
What year was that?
What year was that, John? You were there.
Maybe the 90s?
Something in the nineties, yeah.
Well, if we were meeting there, yeah, it's on there, I can't think of it.
Yeah.
But were these items hot?
No, he didn't.
I thought you were telling me you had a
It was-
raincoat on, you're
he was
standing
a
in front of the
collector.
window.
He bought everything.
You wanna buy a TI card?
Yeah. And,
You didn't do this.
Yeah.
there were
TI
literally
cartridges.
150 different cartridges, and, it's amazing stuff. All kinds of stuff. He had disk software, he had, I don't recall any console or anything coming through the window, but he never came into the room, all the stuff came in through the window, and everybody was reaching out and grabbing stuff, and you look at it, and just hand out some money, and then later on, everybody got together and tried to swap around. And I had a shirt full of cartridges. I didn't know what I had until I got home.
What'd you do with those cartridges?
Still got them.
Did your son ever, did you learn how to read?
Oh, he was already reading by that point, but we had a lot of interesting things at that church. One time a guy came in, brought in a system, and he explained that he wanted to sell the system because he was essentially broke and his wife was sick. And Tony Zalewski got up, took off his hat, and started passing the hat around, collected a couple hundred, and threw 20 or 40 bucks in his own, and put it up to everybody, kick in, and Tony was like that. Tony was the biggest hard guy you ever want to meet. So we got a couple $100, and we told him, take the money, but take your system home with you. And he was practically in tears.
And he bought the first round at the bar?
No, he went home and took care of his wife. But it was a moving moment, and Tony was like that. Tony, if somebody was in need, Tony was the first guy to step up.
Oh, speaking of which, you didn't say anything. Tell him who you got a hold of.
Oh, Ken Zerwinski.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh,
and he may come to next month's meeting.
Oh, that'd be terrific. Maybe he knows what happened to the sign, the big sign that he had made, I think. If we can get him to bring that to the fair, that would be, it's this great big engraved wooden sign. Great big sign. It was always at the meeting.
He was asking you something, just that hippie guy's not still running the meeting, is he?
But he said he couldn't make it this month, and I said, well, how about next month, I can pencil you in, and he said, pencil me in, I'm not doing a presentation. I said, no, just, come
Yeah,
see, and he said he's gonna try and make it.
that would be terrific. That would be terrific. We'd love to see him because.
Okay, let's,
Wait, really quick.
He was our host at Triton College.
Yes, he'll have lots of history to say. So we went to this, St. Nikolai was January 6th of 1990 to September 1st of 1993. I say we, and I was there. And anyway, next month's going to be something I already did on, maybe in October, but it's gonna be our summer fair at the woods, our picnic, summer
Oh, at
picnic.
Schiller Park.
Yeah, I filmed that little area we had there, so that's what's gonna be coming next month for everybody.
sounds great, fantastic. Anything else on closing now?
That's terrific. Just one more little reminder about the fair coming up on October the 25th. And we'd like to see everybody there. If you have any questions at all, John, why don't you tell us about the website where all this information is, including all of these newsletters that John has been producing.
Well, you get hard copies if you come to the meeting, that's why, it's the only reason that John and
Erwin comes.
Erwin comes, just to get a
That's
copy of the
that
newsletter.
and the donuts.
And the
That
free
and the
donuts at Cow Block, yeah.
You County.
And our beautiful face.
What's it, www.ChicagoTIUG.org or
Just simply CTIUG.org
CTIUG.org if you're lazy.
or if you don't want to wear out your keyboard
It's true,
prematurely.
you don't want to wear it, because you can't replace those. Oh, actually, that's TI keyboards. Thanks, Jim.
And Jim hosts that, I believe, on his
Oh.
server,
Nope,
or somebody hosts it.
John
But
hosts
Jim-
it technically.
Jim does, what Jim does,
We're not gonna say most of it.
All the back end stuff.
all the back end stuff,
Jim does the hard stuff.
all the stuff that makes it work, for which we are all grateful. And we're all also
What
grateful
does
for
Google
everybody that
do all
came
the back
today.
end stuff?
because we had a lot
They
of
give it to
people-
you in the back end.
A lot of people came and commented, and we didn't read all of the comments, but I hope we answered most of the questions.
Mhm.
Did we?
There weren't
and,
really any questions, but yeah, a lot showed up.
some comments and.
Now, remember, the first 500 people at the fair get in free.
That's right.
The first 700 people get in free at the fair.
700, well, let's not be too generous.
Are
Let's
you
make it
going to
600.
adjust for inflation and the tariff war?
Well, we'll see,
Yeah.
we'll see
Yeah.
how today the tariffs go,
Hopefully.
so,
Uh,
okay. Are you done, and we'll turn it over to
I'm
Vic,
done,
or?
I'm done.
I was tempted to say, pay no attention to that.
But we didn't have the curtains.
So I'll run this again at the end of the meeting. Yeah, a long time ago, we were taking like pencil on lined notebook paper and writing the year, the month, the date. There was a CTIUG meeting. And I almost got one of those clapper things like you see in the movies.
Clap on, clap off. you
Yeah.
know?
No, the clapper board where they write in chalk on it, the movie, who's in the scene, the scene number.
Take 29.
Oh, is the next meeting gonna be Saturday, May 3rd? Is that
That's a good idea. Why don't we do that? Why don't we have the next meeting on
Saturday, May
the
3rd? Okay.
That's what I told Ken, so it better be.
Yep, that's a good idea.
We'll see you on Saturday, May 3rd, everybody. Jim will tap dance.
That's when this thing is due again. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars theme?
Yeah. I'll probably not be able to make it. I'll probably be still out of town.
Uh,
And Dave will be bringing the system.
We're
next
gonna watch
month.
it online, aren't you, Rick?
Yeah, yeah.
And you're gonna bring them on an extra monitor.
Even if you're driving.
I
right?
can't.
Oh, I donated that monitor if you want it.
Oh, yeah.
Does it have composite input?
No, it does not.
Oh.
Okay, everybody,
I have an adapter.
Hey, all you guys on the phone. And,
thus concludes the broadcast day. Remember that?
I actually
You're gonna have
did
to
that
design the
once.
new flag to accommodate